Chapter 3121. Chen Shang was deliberately hiding his strength. It was not because he wanted to catch Chen Shang off guard, but to stall for time. He wanted to delay as much time as possible because it would take more than 10 days for the battle to end. After all, they were all very strong people and everyone had similar strength, so it was normal for them to need a long time. The battle continued for an entire day. It had been a long time since Chen Shang had fought in this kind of battle, and he purposely delayed for a long time, if not he might have killed Yuan Zufeng right from the start. This kid really consumes energy. Is he trying to stall for time? What is the purpose of stalling for time? Could it be to buy time for Ji Xingyuan? Quote, doesn't he know that once he breaks through, he will be directly sucked into the myriad Tao? Even if Ji Xingyuan had broken through, he would not be able to deal with us, and in the end, he would have to hand over the Wu Dao spiritual Dan honestly. Quote, Ji Xingyuan must have definitely told him before. So, it can be confirmed that he is not stalling for time. Rather, he is unable to use that sword. Quote, that's most likely the case. That sword is so powerful, so there should be a limit to its usage. The last time he used it, not much time had passed, so he shouldn't be able to use it yet. Everyone guessed. They did not think Chen Shang was stalling for time, but Chen Shang was stalling for time. Soon, 3 days passed. 1. Ben, read. Chen Shang and Yuan Zufeng had done their best in their battle, but the battle between Yuan Zufeng and Yuan Zufeng was no longer that intense. It could be seen how much energy they had expended. Brat, you really use energy. Yuan Zufeng's old face was covered in sweat. Chen Shang was also panting, but it seemed like he could still continue fighting. Hee, it won't be that easy for you to obtain the Wu Dao spiritual Dan. Chen Shang laughed. He rushed out again and fought Yuan Zufeng barehanded. His fighting style was very simple. He only used the combination of meteor immortal power and heaven blasting palm. He did not use any other powerful moves. Forget it, looks like I have to show my true abilities in order to qualify to obtain that Wu Dao spiritual Dan. Yuan Zufeng suddenly laughed sinisterly and took out a black whip. This whip looked rather ordinary and very black. There was no aura emanating from it, and it was not as beautiful as the blue divine knife he had previously used. What is this? Chen Shang frowned and asked. Seeing how confident Yuan Zufeng was at the moment, he was a little worried. I'm just changing my weapon. I should be allowed to switch my weapon midway, no. The speed at which Yuan Zufeng replaced the weapon was extremely fast. He suddenly distanced himself from Chen Shang, and then kept the divine blade inside his spatial divine tool. The fact that he was able to use a storage divine tool meant that he definitely came from the myriad Tao. It was just that he could only store a few things now, but it was enough for him to store weapons. There's no rule that we can't change weapons. Chen Shang nodded. No one present seemed to know why Yuan Zufeng suddenly switched the black whip. Yuan Zufeng was of the same generation as them, so they all understood each other better, but they did not know that Yuan Zufeng had such a whip. The speed that he exploded out was actually faster than before, and it was obvious that he was still suppressing a portion of his strength. After all, he could not kill Chen Shang, so he held back when attacking. This was also what Chen Shang had expected, he just did not know what use Yuan Zufeng's whip had. Pow! Yuan Zufeng lashed out with his whip from afar. Although it did not hit, it did not need to get too close to Chen Shang to prevent him from attacking him from a close distance. Thus, Chen Shang had to avoid the attack from a distance. This would be beneficial to Yuan Zufeng's long-distance attacks. The next 2 days, Yuan Zufeng fought with this whip against Chen Shang. The result was similar to before, no one took advantage of anyone. This guy must be hiding something. Chen Shang was on guard the whole time. It was already dark. The stars were obscured by thick clouds in the middle of the night. Just like before, Yuan Zufeng continued to wave his whip to attack Chen Shang. The whip was originally black, so now that it had fused with the darkness, it was rather difficult to see with one's eyes. Chen Shang could only judge the distance between the whip and the sound, as well as the weak vibrations the whip made. As usual, Yuan Zufeng brandished the black whip. After determining the range of the whip, he immediately dodged it. However, this time, the long whip was different from before. It was as though a nimble snake was fiercely chasing after it, and the black whip had already left Yuan Zufeng's hand. In an instant, it flew onto Chen Zhang's body. After Chen Shang felt his body being tightly restrained, he immediately understood Yuan Zufeng's intentions. After everyone saw this, they couldn't help but to admire Yuan Zufeng's skill. They secretly cursed Yuan Zufeng as an old cunning fox in their hearts. Do you want to admit defeat? Yuan Zufeng said with a smile. At this time, Chen Zhang's body was tied up by that black whip, leaving only his head exposed, which was still shrinking. What Chen Shang felt was terrifying was that this long whip was extremely strange. No matter how much strength he used, it was as if his power was being absorbed, causing him to be unable to struggle free from this long whip that seemed to have life. Before, Chen Shang had also used world-defying green dragon to hold others down, and now, he was also being held down by someone else in the same way. It was just that this thing did not look like a beast, but a very magical thing. This guy really has a trick up his sleeve. Looks like he's going to obtain a Wu Dao spiritual Dan. Quote. Although he is a bit shameless, there is nothing much to say. After all, he did not violate the rules. That's right, his strange black whip can also be considered a weapon. It's just that it possesses a very strange ability. The 17 old men all thought that Chen Shang had lost for sure. Although Chen Shang was still struggling, they all believed that he had no chance at all. Unless he admitted defeat, there was no way to struggle free from this strange black whip. Chen Shang continued to struggle. At the moment, he was already on the ground, rolling like a bug, and releasing low roars continuously. I said it dozens of times. If you don't admit defeat, I will be sorry. Yuan Zufeng laughed coldly. Now that Chen Shang was being controlled by him, it could be said that he could easily trample Chen Shang, which was why he was so calm and collected. The whip was used for self-defense. It could be seen that he was extremely cautious. Even though he was very strong, he did not let down his guard. They had known Yuan Zufeng for a long time. They did not know that Yuan Zufeng had such a powerful thing. If they were to clash with Yuan Zufeng and suddenly Yuan Zufeng released this thing, they would not be able to hold on, and would only die in the end. Chapter 3122. Yuan Zufeng was counting down, while Chen Shang was still struggling to break free from the whip. Xiao Ke, is there any way? Chen Shang asked Feng Ke, who was inside the Yuyao mountain villa. This thing is pretty powerful, and it's naturally nurtured. I wonder where he got it from. Feng Ke said, of course I have a way to help you break free, but once you use it, the whip will probably be destroyed. Are you willing to destroy it? Of course I don't want to. Chen Shang laughed. Once I get rid of this guy, this whip will be mine. So can you think of any other way? Let me break free and kill this guy. Quote. Yuan Zufeng had already finished counting 10 times, and seeing that Chen Shang did not admit defeat, his expression became sinister. He was already extremely agitated after being wasted by Chen Shang for more than 10 days, and now that Chen Shang was being restrained, he was actually wasting time with him. This made him extremely angry, and he ruthlessly stepped on Chen Zhang's face. Little bastard, quickly concede. Otherwise, I'll definitely torture you so you'll know my methods. Yuan Zufeng said ferociously. His old face was extremely terrifying. Yuan Zufeng saw that the Wu Dao spiritual Dan was right in front of his eyes, and he could immediately obtain it, but Chen Shang refused to surrender for a long time, which made him anxious. When he met with this kind of situation, even an old fellow like Yuan Zufeng, who had lived for a long time, would not be able to calm down, so he released all of his pent-up anger that he had suppressed for many days, and started to punch and kick Chen Shang. $1 read novels YBDU. Old bastard, kill me if you dare. Chen Shang sneered. He was not afraid of Yuan Zufeng using such a method. If Yuan Zufeng really dared to kill him, he would not be able to escape either. When Yuan Zufeng saw that Chen Shang was threatening him, he became even more furious. He raised his head and laughed wildly, then took out a small needle, and laughed sinisterly. All right, I'll give you one more chance. Yuan Zufeng held Chen Zhang's head down, then slowly moved the needle in front of Chen Zhang's eyes. At this time, Yuan Zufeng used one hand to push Chen Zhang's eyes away, and then stared straight into Chen Zhang's eyes. He laughed sinisterly. Brat, let me see how much torture you can endure. Don't worry, I won't kill you. I will only let you beg me to kill you, ha ha ha. They all hated Chen Shang more, because he didn't give them the Wu Dao spiritual Dan he knew. They felt that if they were in's place, they would definitely torture him the same way that Yuan Zufeng was doing. Old bastard, it's not certain who will win and who will lose. Chen Shang suddenly laughed. The eye that was bulged open suddenly shot out a red beam of light, aimed straight for Yuan Zufeng's eye, and shot out through his head. After Yuan Zufeng's brain was severely injured, his head was in extreme pain, and he rolled on the ground. Chen Shang gasped for breath. He had just used his world-defying stage divine power to release the heart-piercing demon eye. If he used a world-defying stage divine power that was very weak, it would have been melted by the pathless rules. This was why he was able to release the world-defying stage divine power. Even though it only appeared for an instant, it was enough for him to counterattack. Yuan Zufeng had just gotten so close to Chen Shang, and was not on guard at all, so he had no idea that Chen Shang could use such a powerful world-defying stage divine power. Yuan Zufeng had also come here from the Myriad Dao a long time ago, and for many years, he had already forgotten about the world-defying stage divine power. Furthermore, when he was fighting with Chen Shang, he knew that Chen Zhang's world-defying stage divine power could not be leaked. Just now, he had been looking straight into Chen Zhang's eyes, and was so close to him, that Chen Shang only needed to release a short moment of demon eye ray to pierce through Yuan Zufeng's eyes and head. I'm not that easy to deal with. Chen Shang had already escaped from the Black Whip. It could be seen that the Black Whip was controlled by Yuan Zufeng, who could control the whip through his spirit energy. After Chen Shang struggled free, he kept the whip inside the Yuyao Mountain Villa. It was already his. I will kill you. When Yuan Zufeng saw that Chen Shang had taken his whip away, he was enraged. He immediately jumped up and rushed over. Seeing him rush over, Chen Shang immediately threw the Six Realms mirrors out. When Yuan Zufeng was about to punch him, he happened to hit the Six Realms mirrors in the mirror. The mirror suddenly trembled, reflecting back the force that he had unleashed just now. Moreover, it was several times stronger. Yuan Zufeng never thought that a mirror would suddenly appear, and even more so, he never expected that after his fist landed on it, it would reflect such a terrifying force and shatter his arm. Soon after, Chen Shang fiercely rushed over and directly grabbed the Six Realms mirrors and poured a large amount of world-defying stage divine power in, causing a large amount of strong world-defying stage divine power to flow and activate the array formation inside the Six Realms mirrors. Then he raised the Six Realms mirrors and crazily slapped Yuan Zufeng's head. Both of Chen Zhang's hands grabbed onto the edge of the Six Realms mirrors, and continued to pound on Yuan Zufeng's head non-stop, and with a few blows, it was shattered to pieces. Old bastard, to make you treat me so maliciously. Chen Shang stood up, gasped for breath, and kept the Six Realms mirrors. The surrounding spectators were all stunned. Not long ago Chen Shang was still in a difficult situation, but not long ago, he who was extremely proud of himself was killed, and even his brain was smashed. I won. Chen Shang looked at the people and shouted, I need to rest for a while before I can continue fighting. Do you all have any objections? The 17 people all shook their heads. Their emotions were a little complicated right now. Firstly, they were happy, because they had lost another competitor because they did not give Chen Zhang's Wudao Spiritual Dan out. At the same time, they were also more worried because Chen Shang was not weak at all, and he had even obtained the Black Whip. Especially the red light that was being emitted by Chen Zhang's eyes, it made them extremely shocked, to think that it could so easily penetrate Yuan Zufeng's head. They had never seen this kind of method before. And Chen Zhang's Six Realms mirrors, in their eyes, was just a very powerful shield that could even reflect strength. In battle, they could use weapons and divine artifacts, but now, Chen Shang would be able to rely on these things to become even stronger, causing them to be secretly worried that they would not be able to defeat Chen Shang. Everyone saw that Chen Shang was extremely stubborn, even to that extent just now, he still did not admit defeat, so it would be extremely difficult for them to defeat Chen Shang and make him hand over the Wudao Spiritual Dan. Chen Shang sat on the ground to rest. How many days do you need to rest? A red-clothed old man asked. Can you draw a stone tablet first? The red-clothed old man was also extremely impatient. About 3 days. That shouldn't be a problem, right? You all have all seen my previous battle, right? I was very tired from it. Chen Shang said. All right, I will take out a stone tablet now. Chen Shang exhaled, then took out the box and shook it, and very quickly a stone tablet came out. The 17 old fellows all anxiously looked at Chen Shang and picked it up. Chapter 3123. Everyone held their breath. They wanted to see who the next person fighting Chen Shang would be. Hu Wenyan, Chen Shang shouted, only to see a red-clothed old man immediately overjoyed, as if he had already forgotten how powerful the strength Chen Shang had displayed just now was. He believed that he would definitely be able to defeat Chen Shang and obtain a Wudao Spiritual Dan. Everyone present believed in the effects of the Wudao Spiritual Dan, because previously, Chen Shang was still very weak. But now, he had become much stronger, able to fight evenly against an expert of the older generation. At this moment, Hu Wenyan was also adjusting his condition. After being overjoyed, he remembered the battle with Chen Shang not long ago, and felt that Chen Shang still had some abilities. Furthermore, Chen Shang had obtained a powerful long whip. Chen Shang was currently resting peacefully. He needed to rest for 3 days in order to recover, and at that time, he would be in his best condition to accept battle. Hu Wenyan was currently discussing with the other red-clothed elders in a low voice. He did not know what kind of secret method they had used to prevent their voices from spreading. Chen Shang, can you use that whip now? Feng Ka asked. I can't for now, it contains Yuan Zufeng's remaining mental energy. I need to purge all of it before I can control it. This will take a period of time. Why don't you try and see if you can purge the remaining mental energy inside? Chen Shang said, if you can clear it within 3 days, then when I fight with the red-clothed old man, my chances of winning will increase by a few points. If Chen Shang had not been able to use the heart-piercing demon eye to attack Yuan Zufeng in time, he would have been tortured a little, and would not have been able to escape the bindings of the whip. All right, I'll try, Feng Ka said. She tried it and soon came to a conclusion. There is a lot of spiritual force inside, and it is fused together with the entire whip. It is not easy to understand. It will take you a long time to control the whip. You may not be able to use it in the near future. Quote. Chen Shang thought for a moment, then said, I still have a little strength, so I'll make a time domain for you, and you can remove the spirit brand inside it. Then, I'll see if I can directly fuse my soul with this whip inside the divine sense sea, and at that time, my soul and whip will both be inside the time domain, and I'll be able to gain a lot of time. All right, Feng Ka said, it should work. Chen Shang had released the time domain in the Yuyao Mountain Villa, and it was only used against Feng Ka alone. Therefore, his energy consumption was not very large, and his own recovery speed was already very fast, so it would not affect him much. You don't have to worry about that black whip. For Yuan Zufeng to control that whip so well, it must have been refined by Yuan Zufeng's spirit force for a long time. Even if he could remove the spirit mark inside, it would be difficult for him to fuse with the whip in a short period of time. Wanting to control this kind of divine weapon like a fish in water is not easy. It would at least need 2 months of time. An old man in red said. This brat has a lot of methods. I need to be more vigilant. You don't have to worry that he will kill you, since he doesn't have that kind of strength yet. If Yuan Zufeng wasn't too careless, he wouldn't have killed you this way. I got it. The red light that was released by his eyes a moment ago, I have already seen it. I will guard against it. Hu Wenyan nodded his head. I will be even more careful. I will definitely be able to get a Wu Dao spiritual Dan. The red-clothed people started to seriously discuss, while Chen Shang was busy with his own matters. It had only been half a day since he had used the time domain to buy time for Feng Ka to successfully wipe away the mental energy within the black whip. Now that your spiritual force has been erased, try and let your divine soul enter the time domain and fuse with the black whip. Feng Ka said. Alright, I'll give it a try now. Chen Shang controlled his own divine soul to enter a time domain, and then, he controlled the black whip to stay together with the divine soul. Afterwards, he released the mental energy from the divine soul, and at the same time, he concentrated his own mind, as if he was treating a green ghost stone. Fortunately, he could keep up with his speed, allowing the black whip to absorb his psychic power. If everything goes well, I'll be able to fuse with this whip in 3 days. Chen Shang was secretly delighted. He looked at the red-clothed people. He guessed that these red-clothed people all knew of the characteristics of the long whip, and definitely thought that he wouldn't be able to control the whip in the short term. It's not a last resort. Don't use it. Chen Shang made up his mind. Soon after, he heard the crowd of people in the distance talking about this matter, and actually felt that he would not be able to grasp this powerful whip in a short period of time. This made him even more determined. This was not a critical moment, so he definitely could not use it. The black whip slowly but steadily established a connection with Chen Shang, and Chen Shang could already gradually feel the close connection between this whip and himself, which made him even more at ease. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed and Chen Shang had recovered from his previously exhausted look. It's the same as before. We'll start after 100 steps, with our backs facing each other. Chen Shang said. Don't worry, we will allow you to use that black whip. Hu Wenyan laughed sinisterly. We are very reasonable. Chen Shang cursed in his heart. If he was really being reasonable, he wouldn't have come to snatch him. Chen Shang only nodded his head. With a dull expression, it made people feel that he wasn't particularly happy, as if his heart was a little heavy. Alright, let's begin now. Hu Wenyan and Chen Shang had their backs against each other, and after walking 100 steps respectively, the battle had already begun. What Chen Shang found strange was that Hu Wenyan did not turn around, but stood still. Just like last time, after taking 100 steps, Chen Shang suddenly turned around and charged out. After that, he punched across the sky at Hu Wenyan, blasting out a monstrous wave of fist force. The fist force swept out, releasing a hualala sound, and instantly covered Hu Wenyan within it. However, Hu Wenyan stood very steadily on the ground, and only then did he slowly turn around. He turned around and roared at Chen Shang. An extremely terrifying sound wave rushed out, shaking the entire ground and causing some of the nearby boulders to shatter. The spectators in the distance were so shocked that their ears hurt. They had no choice but to use their own strength to block this sound wave. And when Chen Shang was hit by the sound wave, his ears hurt. At this moment, his ears were still buzzing, and he could not hear anything at all. Chapter 3124. Just when he was deaf, Hu Wenyan once again roared a few times. That sound wave was extremely terrifying. Not only did it dissipate the power of his fists, it even pushed him back like a wave. My ear is damaged, Sijing. Beautiful, quickly release all the energy you have in your body. Chen Shang immediately shouted out. At the same time, he used the world-defying stage divine power to protect his ears, to prevent them from being attacked. He didn't know that Hu Wenyan would use a sonic wave attack, and that he was extremely proficient at it, causing him to be caught off guard. But Hu Wenyan knew of his strength, and had watched his battle with Yuan Zufeng before. I got taken advantage of by this guy. Chen Shang was extremely unhappy, and he scolded himself. At this time he had gradually regained his senses, but Hu Wenyan was actually constantly running around him, occasionally attacking him with sound waves, and every time he roared, he would become extremely strong, able to shake Chen Zhang's heart, causing him to feel pain in his bones and muscles. Is this guy attacking from afar? Chen Shang clenched his teeth. Fine, since I like to waste time, it's fine to delay. Chen Zhang's goal was to stall for time, so the opponent had no intention to attack in a hurry. It had to be said that Hu Wenyan's current methods were extremely powerful. Every time he roared, he would inflict a little bit of damage, causing his body to continuously feel pain. It was a good thing that he had the power of regeneration that the Mei Jing sisters provided him with, otherwise, his own recovery would not be able to keep up. If this went on for too long, his body would be crippled by the sound waves. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. When Hu Wenyan saw that Chen Shang was still spirited, he couldn't help but to be suspicious. He felt that even if it were an expert at Yuan Zufeng's level, after being continuously attacked by the sound wave for 3 days, they would definitely be injured. In these 3 days, it was not only Hu Wenyan who kept on attacking Chen Shang kept on attacking him, so Hu Wenyan also needed to scatter Chen Zhang's power. Quite impressive. Hu Wenyan laughed coldly. Whatever, next I'll let you see my strongest. Hu Wenyan became serious at this moment. It looks like he also hid some powerful methods. At their level, they would need to leave a few moves behind in order to not let their opponents understand them too well. This way, when they fought with their opponents in the future, they would be able to use their overwhelming techniques to turn a defeat into a victory. But now, seeing that Chen Shang was so hard to deal with, Hu Wenyan's previous plan was already unworkable. Furthermore, he himself had consumed a lot of energy, so he could only use his own unique moves. Chen Shang saw the other party's serious expression and started to worry, but he still did not stop his attacks. His attacks were simple. Even with such violent techniques like the meteor immortal power, it was able to intimidate his opponent, and the opponent would need a lot of strength to defend, so if he accidentally got hit, he would suffer more serious injuries. Hu Wenyan looked at Chen Shang, his mouth suddenly opening wide, his entire body trembling extremely quickly. No one knew what he was doing. Another sonic wave attack. Chen Shang saw that Hu Wenyan looked like he was roaring, but he did not hear a thing. Just when he was puzzled, he felt a sudden pain in his head. This made him turn pale with fright, because his vision had already turned slightly black. Not good. What attack is this? It had only been a slight pain before, but it was soon replaced by an excruciating pain, causing him to be unable to focus. Ha ha! Hu Wenyan's complacent laughter rang. Chen Shang only felt his own heart involuntarily ache. Hu Wenyan had already attacked over, and had even used a very powerful force to directly attack his heart. Pooh! Chen Shang spat out a mouthful of blood. At this time, his vision was still black and his head was still aching. He did not know what method the other party used to attack him. This is a spiritual attack. This guy's mental energy is extremely strong. Feng Ke said, even I feel attacked. How? Chen Shang could not understand, because his defense was good enough, but he was still hit. Boom. Chen Shang heard the sounds of the second transformation. It was the sound of Hu Wenyan's fist smashing on him, hitting his face hard, sending him flying, causing his head to go on a rampage again. He mixed in with a strange sound wave. This sound wave can create a ripple that can directly send the attack power of his mind into your mind. Feng Ke said, this is a very good technique. Chen Shang immediately took out the 6 realms mirrors. The 6 realms mirrors had become very small now and was placed under the clothes in front of his chest. He let Feng Ke activate a defensive formation inside to prevent it from being attacked by the enemy's mind. The regenerative powers provided by the Mei Jing sisters were extremely strong, and it was as if 2 great rivers had poured into his body, healing his injuries. Chen Shang crawled up from the ground. Feeling a burst of aura being used, Hu Wenyan attacked him again. He suddenly took a few steps back, and very dangerously avoided Hu Wenyan's attack. Hu Wenyan never thought that Chen Shang would actually be able to dodge it. He immediately used that strange mental attack on Chen Shang. This time, Chen Shang blocked it, but he pretended to be attacked as he laid on the ground. Seeing Chen Zhang's current state, Hu Wenyan laughed out loud and immediately rushed over, wanting to directly slap Chen Zhang's face. Unexpectedly, the moment he struck out, Chen Shang also sent out a palm, directly striking him. What was worse was that Chen Shang had used the heaven-blasting palm, and had even used the power of the bone-melting magic palm. His palm strike power was much stronger than Hu Wenyan's. Hu Wenyan did not dare to kill him, so he had a sense of propriety when he attacked. Therefore, after Hu Wenyan struck out, he did not expect that Chen Shang would still be able to retaliate. My hand. Hu Wenyan was panic-stricken, the bones in his arm were all gone, his arm dropped down. Their bodies were the most powerful when cultivating without a path, and their bones were also incomparably tough. However, at this moment, they suddenly disappeared. They had never seen this kind of method before. Chen Shang stood up, and laughed mischievously, the same trick, don't even think of using it on me a second time. As he said that, he walked over to Hu Wenyan with a few steps. Hu Wenyan was startled, and used his spirit attack on Chen Shang again, but to no avail. And Chen Shang had already slapped his palm across, bringing along heaven-blasting palm power and bone-melting magic palm power. Pa! Hu Wenyan's old face was struck hard by Chen Shang, the wrinkles on his face immediately dropped, the bones on one side of his face had already melted. Following that, Chen Shang smashed his other arm, and melted the bones of that arm away. At this time, Hu Wenyan was already unable to speak clearly, let alone opening his mouth wide, even the bones in his mouth had been melted by Chen Shang. Chapter 3125. Chen Shang did not stop his attack at this point in time and continued to attack Hu Wenyan's legs, melting away all the bones. Hu Wenyan was already lying on the ground, and was unable to get up on his own, much less attack Chen Shang. They could not use the world-defying stage divine power, so after their bones were melted, they could not use the world-defying stage divine power to support themselves. To the pathless cultivators, the body was their foundation, so a heavy injury to their bones was fatal. Just admit defeat, Chen Shang said. He did not want to kill Hu Wenyan right now, because he was a member of the red-robed man. If he were to kill him, the consequences would be dire. The few red-clothed people coldly watched from the side, as did the other people. None of them expected Chen Shang to be so powerful, and his attacks this time were much faster than the previous ones. You think I will lose just like that? Hu Wenyan laughed sinisterly, his eyes suddenly turned red, and his body started to leak gas. Chen Shang smelled a fishy smell and was shocked in his heart. This Hu Wenyan was actually burning the blood essence in his body, and when it burned, it would emit a very strong power. Damned brat, don't even think of defeating me. The blood mist on Hu Wenyan's body exploded, creating a burst of strong pushing force. His entire body turned into a red beam of light and struck towards Chen Shang. This power was extremely terrifying, and when it charged over, Chen Shang felt that the space around him had become extremely unstable, as if it was going to be crushed. It was too late for him to dodge. Boom! Hu Wenyan's head struck Chen Zhang's chest, sending him flying. Seeing him burn his blood essence, everyone felt that if they bumped into Chen Shang, what Chen Shang said would seriously injure him, but Chen Shang had only flown out and landed on the ground. Hu Wenyan, however, was in a miserable state. He did not even have a head left, he had already died. Chen Shang touched his chest, where there was a small Six Realms mirrors. The Six Realms mirrors' mirror was for the outside world, and when that energy rushed over, the Six Realms mirrors would increase its power by a few times and bounce back. Hu Wenyan had used his head to smash Chen Zhang's chest, so the rebounding force hit Hu Wenyan's head as well, causing him to lose his head. None of my business. Chen Shang looked at the furious red-robed men and shrugged. This really had nothing to do with Chen Shang. He did not expect Hu Wenyan to actually attack him, and he was not on guard at all. The red-clothed person was very strong, causing the entire pathless city to tremble in fear. But now, one of them had died, and the surrounding people were all scared speechless by Chen Zhang's strength. You killed our comrades, a red-clothed man said angrily. Isn't that fine? There are 5 of you, but one of you has died, and I only have 4 Wu Dao spiritual Dan, which is just enough for you. Chen Shang smiled faintly. Although his words were unpleasant to hear, those red-clothed people thought that it was reasonable. Otherwise, if one of them could not obtain it, they would definitely hate the other. When everyone saw the expressions of those red-clothed people, their hearts couldn't help but turn cold. Just a moment ago, these people were still angry over the deaths of their companions, but after thinking of their own interests, they unexpectedly had such cold expressions. Chen Shang saw their reaction, and it was expected. As long as they could break through, it wouldn't matter even if their loved ones died. He had already heard that these red-clothed people had become crazy. In order to break through and eat people everywhere, they no longer had any humanity left. Just now, they were angry because they wanted to display their prestige. I will continue to draw the stone tablet. I need to rest for the day. Chen Shang picked up the box and shook it, producing a stone tablet. Jia Gangyi. Chen Shang raised the stone tablet up for them to see. Jia Gangyi was a red-clothed person. The previous 2 times Chen Shang had truly drawn his stone tablet, but this 3rd time, it was done on purpose. In this place, the people he feared the most were these red-clothed people. He wanted to get rid of them one by one, but he didn't know if he could proceed smoothly. You have some ability, but don't be arrogant. Jia Gangyi said, this time, I will definitely defeat you. There were only 16 people left, and every time they fought Chen Shang, one of them would die. They also felt that Chen Zhang's rules were too unreasonable, but his judgment on winning and losing was too strict. If he wanted Chen Shang to lose, he could only kill him, but if he wanted to kill Chen Shang, he couldn't get the Wu Dao spiritual Dan. And if Chen Shang wanted to win, he could only kill the other party. Chen Shang could not kill him, so he should not admit defeat. The 16 people felt as if they had jumped into Chen Zhang's trap. They started to worry, as they didn't know how many people they would still have left in the end. He was still secretly putting the 6 realms mirrors on his body. After the 6 realms mirrors had been modified by Feng Ka, it had already become more and more useful, and this was a great divine tool for him to defend himself. When we have time, we must use the myriad Dao divine soil to transform the 6 realms mirrors. This thing is too easy to use. Chen Shang thought about how Hu Wenyan had smashed her head against his 6 realms mirrors and couldn't help but want to laugh. Chen Shang stealthily glanced at the 4 red-clothed people. They had already ran off into the distance, as if they were discussing something. We have to be careful of these guys. Chen Shang did not believe that these red-clothed people would honestly carry on, so unless he had no other choice, he would not reveal his heavenly magic sword and black long whip. It's about time you leave this place. After you go up, you can absorb the world-defying stage fierce power from the pathless origin inside your divine sense sea world. When that time comes, you will have enough strength to fight your heaven old orcs. Feng Ka said. When Uncle breaks through, I'll think of a way to leave this damn place. Chen Shang said, even though this group of people were invited to this no-Dao place, I felt that they seemed to be locked in this place on purpose. Although cultivating without a path could allow them to break away from the myriad Dao and head towards the myriad Dao, reaching the last step was simply too difficult, it is almost impossible. Chen Shang had heard that there were very few people who could cultivate to the end without relying on pills, that was why Wang Dao became a legend. It was because Wang Dao entered this place not long ago and could just rely on pills to break through. I don't know where this Chen Kai fellow is. When I go out, I have to find him and ask him to help me reform the 6 realms mirrors. Chen Shang said, When the time comes, I will need to get some myriad Tao divine soil s. Chapter 3126. While Jia Gangyi was discussing something with the other red-clothed elderly men, he also looked in Chen Zhang's direction from time to time. It could be seen that the things they were discussing right now were related to Chen Shang. If only we could hear their conversation. Chen Shang also wanted to know what kind of things they were discussing, but he had a nagging feeling that these red-clothed elders were not that honest. Ignore them. You just need to continue stalling for time. No matter how powerful they are, they shouldn't dare to offend others. Feng Ke said. Other than them, there are over 10 other old fellows who are also very strong. They definitely won't let these red-clothed old fellows do as they pleased. Hopefully, Chen Shang sighed in his heart, but I still have to prepare for the worst. If I knew earlier, I would have delayed for a bit longer. When he was fighting with Yuan Zufeng previously, he delayed it for more than 10 days, and when he fought with the red-clothed old man next, it only took a few days to finish the battle. After a day of rest, Chen Shang had already recovered very well. Jia Gangyi had already arrived beside him and said, "You can begin now, right?" Chen Shang looked at the sky, it was only the morning. "Let me rest until noon. I feel like I haven't recovered much." Chen Shang wanted to stall for as much time as possible. Right now, he felt that this group of people did not have much patience. "Didn't we agree on a day? It's time now." Jia Gangyi was a little angry, and said with a cold face. "I'm not fully recovered yet. I just need to wait until noon. I don't need that much time." The other party was anxious, but Chen Shang remained calm. "Humph." Jia Gangyi snorted, and returned to the group of people. Chen Shang was secretly amused. He had already initially figured out that Jia Gangyi's personality was one of the most impatient ones, and now that he had delayed for a little more time, he felt that he couldn't sit still any longer. He almost started a quarrel with Chen Shang. This guy looks really angry. Chen Shang quietly glanced at the distant Jia Gangyi. At this moment, Jia Gangyi's face was flushed red. He was talking about something with the other red-clothed elders and it was obvious that he was holding back his anger with a single glance. Chen Shang didn't care, since he had successfully delayed for half a day. When the battle starts, I have to think of a strategy to stall for time. I have to delay this battle until uncle comes out of closed-door training. Chen Shang closed his eyes and continued to rest. Very soon, it was noon. When Chen Shang stood up, he was already by his side. "Is it okay now?" Jia Gangyi said coldly. "All right, it's the same as before." Chen Shang and Jia Gangyi had their backs facing each other, and after the two of them walked 100 steps out, they began to fight. This time Chen Shang did not choose to be the first to attack. His main goal was to defend and stall for time. Jia Gangyi's reaction was just as Chen Shang had expected. He was the first to attack, but his speed wasn't very fast. This speed doesn't seem like something that he should have. Could it be that he's deliberately hiding his strength? Seeing Jia Gangyi slowly rushing over, Chen Shang was secretly suspicious in his heart. He had already mustered his strength to seriously defend himself, so that the opponent would not be able to harm him. Admit defeat, brat. When Jia Gangyi was still more than 3 meters away from Chen Shang, his expression suddenly changed, and became as white as snow, as if he was covered in a layer of ice. Chen Shang immediately sensed an icy cold chi approaching him. This bone-piercing coldness caused his body to ache. He was extremely shocked. This was another kind of strange power. "This is bad." Chen Shang only felt that his legs suddenly lost consciousness. He immediately released his world-defying god fire and allowed it to flow into his thighs. The world-defying god fire quickly entered his thighs, but the cold energy did not disappear. Instead, it became stronger, and the icy cold power extended from his legs all the way to his upper body. What's going on? Chen Shang was extremely anxious. Both of his legs were already numb at the moment, and he could feel a chill spreading to his upper body. This is a very special kind of icy cold power. It can even swallow flames to strengthen itself. After sensing it, Feng Ke anxiously said, "Right now, your situation is extremely dangerous. Let me see if I can help you seal this power. Now that I have already activated the array formation inside the 6 realms mirrors, quickly use devouring magic Kung Fu and swallow the rich icy cold power in your thigh. Leave the rest to me." Jia Gangyi was already standing in front of Chen Shang. With a cold smile on his face, he said, "You can't move. If you don't give up, I will castrate you on the spot and then towards you, he. Jia Gangyi licked his tongue. "I will bite off one piece of your flesh after another. I really like to eat tender-skinned brats like you." Hearing Jia Gangyi's words, the coldness that was sealed by Feng Ke once again surged into Chen Zhang's heart. This guy is too vicious. Chen Shang secretly operated devouring magic Kung Fu, and absorbed all the icy cold power in his thigh into Divine Sense C. When this power entered the Divine Sense C, his Divine Sense C instantly became a world of ice and snow. Fortunately, Feng Ke had a way to solve this problem, and he quickly recovered his Divine Sense C. However, Chen Shang had not stopped his devouring, because there were so many icy cold powers in his thigh. He had no idea how Jia Gangyi had managed to do it, but in such a short period of time, he had poured so many icy cold powers into his thigh. You're quite capable, to be able to dissolve my power of ice. Jia Gangyi could feel the power of ice on Chen Zhang's thigh slowly disappearing. Although he was secretly surprised in his heart, he was not in a hurry. Jia Gangyi suddenly laughed sinisterly, his body releasing another burst of cold qi. After feeling the cold qi, Chen Shang was secretly afraid. This cold qi was rushing towards his chest. Fortunately, he had placed a piece of 6 realms mirrors in front of his chest. This piece of 6 realms mirrors was able to block the incoming icy cold power attack. This guy is very vicious, I definitely can't let him succeed. Chen Zhang's face turned cold. He suddenly moved his hand, which caused Jia Gangyi to be extremely shocked. He thought that Chen Shang had already been frozen by his yin energy, but could still move even now. Furthermore, a black long whip appeared in Chen Zhang's hand. Don't be afraid, he still can't control this long whip. Jia Gangyi told himself not to worry about Chen Shang being able to use his powerful whip. But, after Chen Shang waved the long whip vigorously, the whip immediately left Chen Zhang's hands. Like a nimble black poisonous snake, it flew towards Jia Gangyi and tied him up tightly in the blink of an eye. Jia Gangyi had never thought that Chen Shang would be able to refine this black whip in such a short period of time. Everyone present was extremely astonished. They were very clear about this type of divine weapon. If they couldn't remove the remnant soul imprint within, they wouldn't be able to carry out the refining process. Chapter 3127. Refining a divine weapon will take a long time, and it will also take at least a month to remove the soul brand. But right now, it's not going to be that fast. When the other 3 red-clothed elders saw that Chen Shang had succeeded in using the black whip, they actually rushed over immediately. This was because they knew that if they did not go over now, their comrades would definitely die. They wanted to save Jia Gangyi not because of their friendship, but because the number of red-clothed people among them was becoming fewer and fewer. If there were only 2 or 3 left, they wouldn't be as overbearing as before, and many would even come to take revenge on them. Use that, Jia Gangyi shouted. Jia Gangyi was the leader of the red-clothed men. He had discussed some matters with the other 3 red-clothed elders before, but now that he had suddenly yelled that out, Chen Shang felt extremely uneasy in his heart. The speed of the 3 red-clothed old men was extremely fast. They instantly arrived around Chen Shang and surrounded him. Then, their eyes turned red and their bodies began to emit waves after waves of red mist. Just how many evil methods do these guys have? Just now, Chen Shang felt that it was extremely inconceivable for Jia Gangyi to be able to release that kind of power of cold and yin. He felt that this power should belong to the world-defying stage divine power and could not be used by those who cultivated unscrupulously, but Jia Gangyi was still able to use it. The 6 realms mirrors can definitely block it. Chen Shang was very confident in the 6 realms mirrors. He had just said that the 6 realms mirrors had helped him withstand Jia Gangyi's extremely strong yin ice power, otherwise, his entire body would have been numbed and in pain. After the 3 red-robed elders surrounded Chen Shang, their eyes shot out dark red rays of light that struck Chen Zhang's mind. It was unknown what they were doing. When Chen Zhang's head was hit by the red light, he suddenly felt a sharp pain, as if his head was going to be ripped apart. What are you doing? Chen Shang bellowed. You guys suddenly attacked me, this is not fair. Little bastard, I've tolerated you for a long time. One of the red-clothed old men laughed sinisterly, the red light in his eyes became even brighter, and Chen Zhang's head also started to glow brighter. More pain. When the other dozen old men saw this, they hastily rushed over. What are you doing? Isn't this a fair fight? An elder said angrily, you two have joined hands to deal with him. Do you want him to escape? HMPH, don't you know that Ji Xingyuan is cultivating in seclusion? He is only here to buy time for Ji Xingyuan to break through. The moment he breaks through, he will still be able to escape. Jia Gangyi sneered when he was tied up on the ground. You all have seen it too, this brat has many tricks up his sleeve, we are no match for him at all, and in the end, we get nothing, and furthermore, die in his hands. At this time, Chen Shang was still screaming non-stop. That power had entered his brain and caused him to feel extreme pain, causing him to be unable to say a single word. Then what are you going to do to him now? An elder could naturally tell that it would be difficult for them to defeat Chen Shang, especially since Chen Shang had already refined that black whip. We are currently using a spell on him. If we succeed, we can make him listen to us, and make him obediently hand over the Wu Dao spiritual Dan. Jia Gangyi said, as long as he hands it over, we can discuss how to split it. Or, everyone can study it together and see what kind of power the Wu Dao spiritual Dan contains to help someone break through. Hearing their words, Chen Zhang's heart was filled with worry, but he had no way of getting rid of them. He couldn't move at all, and the 6 realms mirrors couldn't resist the attacks of the curse. Just as Chen Shang was feeling extremely anxious, the huge mountain underneath his feet suddenly trembled. They were worried that they would be affected by the explosion, and more or less, all of them guessed that this group of red-clothed old men would not honestly fight against Chen Shang. What's going on? Jia Gangyi, who was still lying on the ground, frowned and asked as he felt the mountain shake violently. I don't know, we're going to succeed soon. A red-clothed old man was extremely excited. If they succeeded, the Wu Dao spiritual Dan would be theirs. Chen Shang was still screaming. That painful sound was too scary, but hearing it made Chen Shang feel extremely uncomfortable. Everyone was focused on Chen Shang, who was enduring the incomparable pain. None of them had any sympathy for him since Chen Shang had the Wu Dao spiritual Dan, but he didn't give it to them. Just as everyone was secretly enjoying the scene, a deafening voice rumbled through the air like a thunderclap. I'm here. This was Ji Xingyuan's voice. When Ji Xingyuan's voice came out, everyone was able to guess that Ji Xingyuan had broken through. When they thought of this matter, their faces were filled with jealousy and hatred. They had been trapped here for so many years, but now Ji Xingyuan wanted to break through and leave this damned place. After Ji Xingyuan's voice was heard, he suddenly appeared behind a red-clothed elderly man. Behind you, Jia Gangyi shouted in alarm, but it was already too late. He only saw Ji Xingyuan's hands suddenly stab into the red-clothed old man's back, and then, alive, he tore the red-clothed old man into 2 halves. After getting rid of the red-robed old man, Ji Xingyuan's arm was like a blade as it slashed towards the other 2 red-robed old men. His arm released a burst of golden energy that was extremely berserk and terrifying. When it struck the 2 red-robed old men's bodies, it brought along an explosive shockwave, directly slashing a large portion of their bodies into bloody mist. It's the world-defying stage fierce power. Chen Shang was shocked. At this time, he had already relaxed a lot and the force that caused him so much pain in his head had already disappeared. Ji Xingyuan's body shone with a golden light. He looked at the dozen or so elders who were fleeing far away, then shouted loudly, rushed forward with a palm strike, causing his palm to fly forward like a thunderbolt. The dozen or so elders felt as though their backs were struck by a gigantic hammer, causing their backs to split open. Ji Xingyuan made 2 more palm strikes. The palm force that was filled with limitless power rushed forward. The 10 over elders were enveloped by the palm force again, their bodies immediately split into pieces. The people who had been observing from afar had already run far away. They were running at the fastest speed ever. Uncle, Chen Shang saw that Ji Xingyuan was floating up bit by bit, and anxiously shouted. I have already successfully broken through. Chen Shang, thank you very much, if not I would not know how long I would have to stay here. Ji Xingyuan said with a smile on his face, you are a person with great potential. We will definitely meet again in the future. Goodbye. Take care. Chen Shang shouted to Ji Xingyuan who was floating in the sky, give my regards to old Wang. Chapter 3128. After Ji Xingyuan floated high up in the sky, a very small black hole appeared there. Ji Xingyuan was sucked into the black hole and disappeared. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief, looked around, there were still a lot of people here, but now only he and Jia Gangyi was left. You're pretty lucky, you can live longer than your companions. Chen Shang chuckled, furthermore, they will also be able to see Uncle make a breakthrough and head towards the myriad Dao. They won't have the chance to witness that. Jia Gangyi didn't know what to say at this time. He knew Chen Zhang's methods, and no one could save him now. The strongest group of people in this place had already been killed by Ji Xingyuan. Jia Gangyi saw Ji Xingyuan's strength, but after breaking through, he was actually so powerful, and when he killed them, it was as easy as killing a chicken. When he thought about this, he became even more furious, because the one who broke through was not him. Incomparable jealousy drove him mad. He roared, howled, vented out the jealousy and hatred that had been suppressed in his heart, and the endless fear that the impending death would bring him. When Jia Gengyi roared, he could not help but spurt out a mouthful of blood in the air. Chen Shang took out the heavenly magic sword. Jia Gengyi finally saw Chen Zhang's heavenly magic sword. They had previously believed that Chen Zhang's heavenly magic sword could no longer be used, but now they seemed to have guessed wrongly that Chen Zhang's heavenly magic sword could still be used. It was just that Chen Shang had purposely hidden himself to delay time. Don't worry, after you die, your corpse will have a good home to return to. I will feed your corpse to the toad. When Chen Shang finished, he waved his heavenly magic sword and cut off Jia Gengyi's head, then threw the corpse to the toad to eat. Finally, everything came to an end. Chen Shang immediately ran to a place very close to the dark area where he could hide. All of this went well. Chen Shang looked up into the sky and couldn't help but say with a sigh, "Uncle finally succeeded. I hope he can live a better life with half-ghost old man." Thinking about Myriad Dao Dan God's death, Chen Shang couldn't help but feel sad. Myriad Dao Dan God, after I go up, I will definitely avenge you. Chen Shang secretly swore in his heart, and then started to rest. When he had been attacked by the curse earlier, it had consumed a great deal of his mental energy. Now that it was over, he only felt exhausted. He only wanted to have a good rest and nothing more. He rested for several days before he regained his spirit. It's time to go back. Chen Shang still had many enemies to deal with outside, so the people in heaven old orcs were very strong. Now that he had cultivated successfully in the No Dao place, his strength had advanced by leaps and bounds. He felt that after going up there, the people of the world-defying stage clan would no longer be able to deal with him, unlike before, where he had to hide from the people of the world-defying stage clan. World-defying stage clan, just you wait. After I go back, I'll let you experience my power first. Chen Shang entered the dark region. He previously came from here, but it's unknown if the way back is blocked. If it's blocked, then he might have to think of another way to return. After walking in the dark for a few days, Chen Shang finally found the crack in the ground. However, this crack was already extremely small, and was still shrinking bit by bit. We can still make it. If we're any slower, we might not be able to make it back. Chen Shang walked to the bottom of the crevice and then floated upwards. The purple mist underneath had already disappeared. If you go up, that would be where the heaven old orcs is. You need to be careful. Feng Ka said. I just wonder how the upper management is doing now. Chen Shang was a little worried about the natural law world. Although the natural law world wasn't together with the divine wasteland, there were still people who were able to go to the divine wasteland. When he was floating upwards, Chen Shang finally saw the light after a few days of darkness. He returned to the divine wasteland from his new life. Is this still the Myriad Dao forest? When Chen Shang arrived in the air, he looked down at the large forest. Previously, this place had been ravaged by a large group of heaven old orcs, but it had already become extremely desolate. There were people in the heaven old orcs who knew what to plant. Chen Kai had told him before, so he didn't know the purpose of growing these plants. If I am able to use the world-defying stage divine power in combination with my immoral body, my strength is already extremely terrifying. Chen Shang felt that if he were to face the heaven old orc emperor again, he would definitely not be in such a sorry state. Chen Shang rode on the Six Realms mirrors and used the counter power to carefully fly above the forest. He was still a little worried about meeting the heaven old orcs, since this was the lair of the heaven old orcs. If he caused too much of a commotion, it would attract a large number of heaven old orcs. Aren't we teleported back to the Dan God mysterious land? Feng Ka asked. This place is a little strange. I'll check it out first. This place doesn't look like a place where barbaric things like the heaven old orcs gather. Chen Shang flew in the sky and looked down. It was extremely beautiful below him, whether it was the jade green evergreen tree or the lush green sea of the prairie. Many rivers flowed across the forest, and under the light of the sun, the sparkling water emitted a golden radiance, looking extremely beautiful. After Chen Shang flew down, he could see groups of birds chirping as they flew past. On the grassland below, there were groups of ferocious beasts running around. Is this really the divine wasteland? Am I out of the way? Chen Shang tried it, and since it was still normal teleportation, it should be the divine wasteland that he was familiar with, but this Myriad Dao forest shouldn't be like this. After flying for less than half a day, the myriad Dao forest had undergone an earth-shattering change. He suspected that he had left this place for too long, otherwise there wouldn't have been such a huge change. Let me see if I can enter the Six Realms time and space door. Chen Shang took out the Six Realms mirrors and looked at the familiar faces. They were all in good condition, and this allowed him to confirm that they were divine wasteland. Look to see if Murong Honglian is here. Chen Zhang's heart moved. He only saw Murong Honglian appearing inside the Six Realms mirrors, and when he saw Murong Honglian, he couldn't help but be startled. Murong Honglian was bathing in a hot water pond, and had even walked in from the pond. Murong Honglian's body was seen clearly by Chen Shang, and he couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Scoundrel! Feng Ka laughed. Chen Shang anxiously kept the Six Realms mirrors away, and after a while, he took it out again. By now, Murong Honglian was already dressed. Little Red Lotus. Only then did Chen Shang dare to send a sound transmission to Murong Honglian. Otherwise, if Murong Honglian knew about that, he would definitely be scolded. Chen Shang, where did you go? The last time she had parted ways with her master and with Chen Shang, she had never contacted Chen Shang again. She had been waiting for Chen Shang for a very long time. I was chased by the Heaven Old Orc Emperor and fell into a damned place. Now, I've finally escaped. Chen Shang sighed. What is going on with the Divine Wasteland? How long have I been gone? Why do I feel like there's a big change here? Quote. Chapter 3129. Murong Honglian only knew that Chen Shang had gone to the Myriad Dao Forest, but she did not know the rest. Now that she found out that Chen Shang had actually been chased around by the Heaven Old Orc Emperor, she couldn't help but be worried. Heaven Old Orc Emperor is very powerful. You were able to escape his pursuit. You are truly powerful. Murong Honglian exclaimed. After you and I parted ways, you have already followed us for more than 3 years. It's been 3 years. Chen Shang was a little surprised, but luckily it was not for a long time. He thought that the time inside the No Dao place was the same as the time they were here, but it seemed that there were still quite a few differences. How is Heaven Old Orcs now? This group of people broke the seal and ran out. There's no chaos here, right? Chen Shang was still in the Myriad Dao Forest at the moment. The scenery in the Myriad Dao Forest was not bad and there was no damage done, and to be able to become like this in 3 years was already very rare. There must be some kind of powerful force changing this place, otherwise there wouldn't be such a huge change. Murong Honglian said. After Heaven Old Orcs came out, they went everywhere to eat people, but it only lasted for half a year, and for some reason, they suddenly became well-behaved, and then a group of self-proclaimed Heaven Old Divine race appeared, with extremely powerful strength. They teamed up with the world-defying Stage Clan, and wanted to subdue and conquer the Heaven Old Orc Emperor. Heaven Old Divine Race. After Chen Shang heard it, he could not help but think deeply. The sudden appearance of the Heaven Old Orcs and the Heaven Old Orcs was not a coincidence, they were all just people. Yes, they are very strong, they should be humans. Although world-defying Stage Clan has a good relationship with them on the surface, they are actually following their orders. Murong Honglian said. But what's strange is that they do not plan to find trouble with Heaven Old Orcs at the moment, but rather recruit warriors from all over, and say that they are going to war with a place called Natural Law World. They say that it is the holy land of the Heaven Old Orcs, a place where evil breeds. What? Chen Shang was shocked, and shouted angrily, this group of bastards, it must be done by the world-defying Stage Clan. Quote. The one behind the Myriad Dao Divine Mountain was the world-defying Stage Clan, and the Myriad Dao Divine Mountain had been holding them in, so they suspected that Chen Shang was secretly affecting the Natural Law World. That was why the people inside the Natural Law World were developing so quickly, and why they placed their attention on the Natural Law World after the world-defying Stage Clan found out about this. They truly hated Chen Shang to the bones. Now that Chen Shang had disappeared for a few years, they had no way of taking revenge on him, and could only vent their anger on him, and furthermore, they had joined hands with the extremely powerful Heaven Old Divine race. What's wrong? Seeing Chen Shang so angry, Murong Honglian immediately asked. It's nothing, this group of bastards. Natural Law World is the world I was born in, don't you know? There are my family and friends in there. Chen Shang said, they want to use this to threaten me. So that's how it is. No wonder they value it so much. Murong Honglian finally understood that she had a lot of doubts about this matter. How is your master now? Chen Shang asked. Now he was prepared to head to Dan God Mysterious Land and tell LV Kilian and the others about this matter. He has already recovered. He's in seclusion concocting pills. Murong Honglian said. He is trying to refine a type of pill that will make the body of the world-defying stage stronger, and the material is from the heaven old orcs. If successful, he only needs to eat this pill, and he will be as strong as the heaven old orcs. That's good. I have to go back quickly. Do you know when heaven old divine race and world-defying stage clan are going to make their move? Chen Shang asked. Right now, they are only just beginning to recruit people. I don't know when they will begin. Murong Honglian said. I will go out and investigate. When that time comes, just contact me. Alright, then I'll be troubling you. Chen Shang nodded, then returned to the Dan God Mysterious Land. Chen Shang teleported back to Dan God Mysterious Land, and when he arrived there, he couldn't help but be shocked. Previously, the Dan God Mysterious Land was empty and only had a few people from the world-defying stage, who were the only ones there. But now, it had become very lively, and had turned into a city. What's going on? Chen Shang took out the 6 realms mirrors and tested it out. Soon enough, he saw Long Jushao. Senior Nine Dust, Chen Shang asked, why did you come to Dan God Mysterious Land? After he confirmed Long Jushao's location, he teleported over to the hall where he was waiting. When he arrived, he saw world-defying stage Dao Ancestor and the others. They were slightly shocked when they saw Chen Shang had arrived before them, and then greeted him with a smile. They were also quite worried about the time that Chen Shang had gone missing. Kilian, you guys are here too. Chen Shang saw that LV Kilian and Long Huishan were also there. Hundreds of Flowers Village and Heavenly Dragon City have moved in here. Now, Heaven Old Divine Race and the World-Defying Stage Clan are preparing to attack the Natural Law World. LV Kilian asked, where have you been all these years that you've been missing? I went to a mysterious place. I didn't stay there for long. Chen Shang laughed. It's good that everyone is fine now. I've just returned and heard about the matter of the Heaven Old Divine Race. Actually, we have enough strength to fight against them, but the result is only mutual damage. Right now, we only want stability, so we don't want to waste our efforts on them. After a while, I will break the communication between Dan God Mysterious Land and them. The world-defying stage Dao Ancestor asked, Chen Shang, you and the natural law world have some connections, what do you plan to do now? Chen Shang frowned, and asked, how much do you know about Heaven Old Divine Race? Everyone looked at world-defying stage Dao Ancestor. The only one who knew that there were many things here was the world-defying stage Dao Ancestor. World-defying stage Dao Ancestor shook his head. I don't know much, I only know that they are of the same origin as Heaven Old Orcs and that they have a certain degree of bloodline relationship with each other. Furthermore, their strengths are very strong. Oh right, they are the more overbearing kind of people. This point will be a little similar to Heaven Old Orcs. Quote, I keep having the feeling that the natural law world is hiding something. On one hand, they are going to the natural law world to ask for the other two, and on the other hand, they should be looking for something. Chen Shang said, if we are only going to deal with hundreds of Flowers Village and the Heavenly Dragon City, just the world-defying stage clan and the people from the Heaven Old Divine Race would be enough. But right now, they are still planning to recruit a large group of people to the natural law world. This is obviously to send this group of people to their deaths and help them search for something in some dangerous places. World-defying stage Dao Ancestor shook his head and said, we are all very familiar with natural law world. You yourself are the same. What do you think the natural law world will hide? Quote. Chapter 3130. Chen Shang was currently the equivalent of a manager of the natural law world, but he truly did not know much about the natural law world. He shook his head, I don't know yet, but I might need to do some things to investigate the natural law world. If you are able to discover something from the natural law world, you must tell us as soon as possible so that we can make a plan in time, and then head to the natural law world to stop them. LV Kilian replied, natural law world isn't a big place. I've been looking around for a long time now, but I still haven't found a place to hide anything. Long Huishan said, she possessed the ice dragon blood veins, and had even been to the core of the earth many times. I'm not sure either. I just sensed that the Heaven Old Divine Race would not go to the natural law world because of this sort of thing. But right now, only the Heaven Old Divine Race has the ability to open a passage and head to the natural law world. Chen Shang said, let's talk about this after I investigate more about it. I need to find a friend and ask him about some things related to the Heaven Old Divine Race. Alright, then let's continue discussing our matters and wait for your news. Long Jushao said. Don't break the bridge between Dan God Mysterious Land and us. We might have to go back in the future. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he quickly teleported away. Heavenly Dragon City and hundreds of Flowers Village had already been moved to the Dan God Mysterious Land, and he heaved a sigh of relief. Do you want to go see Natural Law World yourself? Feng Ke said. Don't you only need to close your eyes to see what's inside Natural Law World? That's right, that's not bad, but I can't see it clearly, and my perception of Qi isn't very clear either. I plan to make a trip to Natural Law World. Chen Shang had already arrived at the Divine Wasteland. The Dan God Mysterious Land was hidden in an independent space. This space was built by the myriad Dao Dan God. It was not easy to enter, and it would be extremely difficult to destroy it. After Chen Shang took out the 6 realms mirrors, through the special ability of the square boulder, he immediately saw Chen Kai. At this time, Chen Kai was on the main street holding a skewer in his hand. He was eating it while smiling mischievously, looking like he was extremely happy. A twirl of a beard. Chen Shang shouted. He did not expect this fellow to still be so relaxed. Chen Shang. When Chen Kai heard Chen Zhang's voice resounding in his mind, he was extremely shocked. I thought you had died. I have a tough life. Even if you die 10 times, I still won't die once. I'll go find you right now. After Chen Shang confirmed Chen Kai's location with the 6 realms mirrors, he quietly teleported to the city that Chen Kai was in before running to his side. His 6 realms mirrors could only lock onto the location of his acquaintances. If he could communicate with his acquaintances, it would be useless against strangers or even his enemies. He did not know why. It was too easy for Chen Shang to find him. Even if he could teleport, he had to at least ascertain his position no matter what. You, where have you been dying these past few years? I've been looking for you. Chen Kai took out a few skewers of meat and gave it to Chen Shang, saying, Eat, I just bought it not long ago, it's still warm. Chen Shang finished it in a few bites, and praised again and again, what meat is this? Not bad. Quote. Of course, the meat of a savage beast from ancient times isn't bad. It's expensive. Chen Kai laughed. Come, I will bring you to drink alone. You actually learned how to drink. Chen Shang laughed with some surprise. You're acting more and more like a human now, your days aren't bad. Of course, I'm not as stupid as those guys. Chen Kai was referring to the Heaven Old Orcs. He felt that if the Heaven Old Orcs didn't come to the human world to enjoy, it would be a waste of his life. Chen Kai brought Chen Shang to a hotel and asked for a private room. From the private room, they saw a river and the scenery was pretty good. Have you heard of No Dao Place? Chen Shang asked. No Dao Place? I didn't hear of it. Is this the place you've been going to for the past few years? Chen Kai looked at Chen Shang, and then pinched Chen Zhang's shoulder, and immediately became shocked. You have become so powerful. Chen Zhang's improvement was only an increase in his physical body. If he did not go and touch it, it was simply impossible to know that he would have such a huge breakthrough. Yes, I have cultivated for many years. Chen Shang chuckled, and then explained the No Dao Place to Chen Kai, shocking him quite a bit. What an eye-opener. There's actually such a strange place. Chen Kai sighed. Doesn't this mean that your body is very strong? It should be. At least right now, if we meet with Heaven Old Orc Emperor, we won't be as bedraggled as before. Chen Shang drank a cup of wine, then asked seriously, you should have a very good understanding of Heaven Old Divine Race, right? When he mentioned the Heaven Old Divine Race, Chen Kai's expression couldn't help but change, becoming serious as he sighed. I didn't want to say this, but who told you to be my only friend? I'll tell you. After Chen Kai finished speaking, his serious face revealed a smile again. Correction, I should have 2 friends, and Xiao Ke this little girl. Feng Ke immediately came out from the Yuyao Mountain Villa and laughed. You twerp, I thought you had forgotten about me. Feng Ke was also eating the dishes on the table. Even though she was just a little girl, she had a lot of food and could not stop. What is the background of the Heaven Old Divine Race? Chen Shang asked. This seems to be related to your secret. Do you know why I am an oddity of the Heaven Old Orcs? Chen Kai asked. How would I know that you're a weirdo? Chen Shang curled his lips. Hurry up and say it, don't keep me guessing. Chen Shang was extremely curious. This is mainly because I am a descendant of the Heaven Old Divine Race and the Heaven Old Orcs. Chen Kai said. This has also caused me to be mocked since I was young. Ah, I thought Heaven Old Orcs was born from a Heaven Old Divine Race or an ancient beast. Feng Ke said. Looks like I guessed wrong. Little girl A, This kind of thing is also possible. Let's not talk about this for now. Chen Kai sighed. My mother is heaven old orcs, my father is heaven old divine race. In a situation like mine, not only will heaven old divine race not accept it, they will even kill me. In their eyes, I have tarnished the existence of their heaven old divine race bloodline, because that's why my parents were killed. Quote. Truly pitiful. Then which side killed them? Feng Ka said. I was killed by heaven old divine race. Actually, heaven old orcs doesn't care about this, which is why I grew up together with him. Chen Kai said, fortunately, I still have a bit of skill and inherited a bit of my father's memories, so I am able to have a good understanding of artifact forging. Chapter 3131. Chen Shang didn't actually know that Chen Kai had such a background. He had thought that the heaven old orcs was naturally birthed. Looks like heaven old divine race is a bit more of a bastard. Chen Shang said. That's not it either. However, the heaven old orcs is nothing, and I am a combination of both sides, so I am just a weirdo. Chen Kai helplessly drank a cup of wine and continued, our two races were both born in Myriad Dao, and above Myriad Dao is an extremely bizarre world. The energy above can be said to be inexhaustible, and it is inexhaustible, but there is a lack of life above. It's different from the Myriad Dao, unlike this place where there is such a stable life, where people just kill each other every day. Quote. Aren't there people that can go up? Do they often? Chen Shang thought about the dead Myriad Dao Dan god. No wonder Chen Kai was so relaxed after coming to this place. He had a very good understanding of the world above Myriad Dao. But why are the heaven old orcs and the heaven old divine race here now? I don't know what their main goal is, but it won't be anything good either. Right now, they are all fighting to go to one place. Chen Kai said in a low voice, to some natural law world or something. I heard that you are from the natural law world, so their main target is you. Because there are your friends inside. Quote. This might just be a cover. Chen Shang frowned. Natural law world, what's attracting them? I don't believe that they would go to the natural law world for me. Natural law world has a barrier, and if someone who's very strong wants to go to natural law world, it will not be easy, so the price they have to pay is not small. Quote. Chen Shang felt the same way before, but now, he felt more and more that heaven old divine race and heaven old orcs had other reasons for going to the natural law world. I don't know about that. I can tell you some things about the heaven old divine race now, but even the heaven old orcs doesn't know much about these things. Chen Kai said, this is the heaven old divine race's secret. Alright, Chen Shang said, I need to understand their strength. They are very strong, and the way they obtain their power is the same as the heaven old orcs. They both come from the heart. Chen Kai touched his own heart, and the heart is also their fatal weakness. If you clash with them, you just need to hit their heart and destroy it, and you will be able to kill them. Chen Shang nodded his head, that means they must have a very strong defense where their heart is. Chen Kai laughed, of course, but your heavenly magic sword can be broken easily. The heavenly magic sword was something that Chen Kai had refined. He felt that it was the best for this powerful divine sword, because it was something that he had refined. Their power originates from the heart, but their heart is different from heaven old orcs'. Heaven old orcs' is the heart of a beast, while their heart is black. As Chen Kai said that, he took out a black stone that looked like a heart. This is the heart of the heaven old divine race. Chen Kai said, look, there's still a strong life force ahead. Chen Shang never thought that this was a real heart. He took it and looked at it, and actually felt a very weak heartbeat, and that heart was even emitting an ice-cold chi. He took a closer look and discovered that there was only a thick layer of black crystal wrapped around the surface of the heart. There was also a large lump of something inside the heart, and it should be the energy source. It's very sturdy. Chen Shang pinched it, then took out the heavenly magic sword, wanting to see if he could cut it open. Stop! Chen Kai immediately shouted, and suddenly snatched the heart away. You're crazy, do you know who the heart belongs to? It couldn't be your father's, could it? Chen Shang said, as Chen Kai had previously said that his father was from the heaven old divine race. Of course not, this is mine. Chen Kai snorted, then hid the heart well, afraid that it would be cut open by Chen Shang. Feng Ka and Chen Shang were both stunned. The heart was actually Chen Kai's own. He actually took out his own heart to shake around. It was truly a weirdo. Is that all right with you? How could he casually take out the heart? Even the heaven old divine race can do it. Chen Shang asked, if you hide your heart like this, how will I be able to kill heaven old divine race in the future when I encounter such a situation? Of course the heaven old divine race cannot casually take out a heart like me. Chen Kai laughed complacently, this heart belongs to me. If the one I have now is damaged, I can immediately replace it. That's fine too, Feng Ka asked, didn't you say that your heart was destroyed and you died? How could I give you time to replace your heart? Quote, because the soul is also in the heart. If the heart finds destruction, the most important soul and life source will be gone. How can one not die? Chen Kai said, and my soul is hidden in the black heart, the beast heart only has energy. Of course, there's also energy in my heart of darkness. Quote, it was evident how much trust Chen Kai had in him since he was able to tell Chen Shang all of this without holding back. Chen Shang, if you have the chance in the future, you can just dig out the hearts of those fellows in heaven old divine race and give them to me. Chen Kai said. All right, Chen Shang said, is there anything else that's powerful that I should be wary of in heaven old divine race? They are very powerful in terms of formations and equipment forging. They were arranged to be here and their strongest power is only at the peak of world-defying stage. The only difference is, they can also use world-defying stage fierce power. Chen Kai said, I want to test their hearts. I want to see if I can retrieve the world-defying stage fierce power S from within. I also want to cultivate this kind of power. It would be fine if it was above myriad Dao, but there are no world-defying stage fierce power S here. If it cannot be absorbed, then we can only extract it from heaven old divine race and heaven old orcs. Chen Kai said. Chen Zhang's divine sense C had an invigorated meridian, which allowed him to absorb world-defying stage fierce power S. It was just that he had never tried it before, because his body was not strong enough previously, he was unable to succeed, but now his body was strong enough. Okay, but how do we find the heaven old divine race now? I want to see them. Chen Shang said. Isn't that easy? Aren't they recruiting fighters now? I'll go register with you. They won't recognize us. Chen Kai laughed. Let's sneak in with them and find some fun. Chen Shang thought about it, and felt that this idea was not bad, and agreed. After eating, he followed Chen Kai and set off. Chapter 3132. Chen Kai brought Chen Shang and quickly walked through the city, quickly arriving outside a large mansion. Residence of He. When Chen Shang saw this word, he asked softly. Don't tell me he's from He clan. It's from He clan. Chen Kai laughed. After Chen Shang cultivated for a long time, he was already able to conceal the aura of his own world-defying green dragon and was no longer able to track it. In the past, it was very easy for the world-defying stage clan to trace the aura of a world-defying green dragon on his body. As the He clan in charge of this city, Chen Shang followed Chen Kai over. Yes, after Chen Kai entered, he saw many people standing in the same courtyard, waiting for the assessment. Do you need Dao Crystal or something? Chen Shang asked. He had seen many things in the past where big powers needed to recruit people, and most of them needed to collect a certain number of Dao Crystal. No need, as long as you can pass. Moreover, there will be very good treatment. I had intended to sneak in and take a look. Chen Kai brought Chen Shang to line up, and said in a low voice, when the time comes, we just need to perform a little more normally, so as to not attract too much attention. Chen Shang had already changed his appearance on the way here, and he also looked relatively ordinary. As long as they did not reveal their true strength, there would not be any problems. When they were lining up, Chen Shang saw that quite a few people had passed the exam. Old Zhao, have you passed the assessment? An old man shouted to another old man. Of course I passed, but I don't really want to go because it's too dangerous and I'm afraid I won't be able to come back. Old Zhao sighed, if you're afraid of death, then don't queue up now. What is the danger? The old man asked. I don't know. In short, it looked extremely complicated. I only found out about it during the exam. After saying this, the old man hurriedly left the residence of He. That was why even if they knew, they would continue to queue up, because once they came back, they would receive a lot of rewards. Legend has it that there was still a pill that could help them enter the world-defying stage, that was the most attractive thing. Chen Kai entered a house, and just after a while, he came out with a wooden board in his hands. He came to Chen Zhang's side and smiled, it's easy to pass, don't be nervous, I'll be waiting for you in the backyard. After Chen Kai finished speaking, he passed through a fake mountain and left. After that, it was Chen Zhang's turn. After entering the house, he saw a very big stone. This stone was black, with many sharp thorns on the surface, it was like a short sword. What's your name? The elder in charge of the assessment asked. Shen Fei. Chen Shang said a fake name. Okay, now pull a needle from this rock, the old man said. Chen Shang nodded, then walked over and pinched the spike on the rock, and then pulled it out with force. Your strength isn't bad. You have passed. I will carve a wooden tablet for you. The old man took the spikes Chen Shang had pulled out, and said, if you go to natural law world, you will encounter this kind of thing there. At that time, all you need to do is to pull the spikes off from the top and hand them over to us. If you can get a lot of these spikes, you can obtain our highest rewards. What's the highest reward? Chen Shang looked at the thorn in his hand. He did not know what it was. To obtain a divine pill that can allow you to enter the world-defying stage, it's just that you need to be very outstanding. The old man had already finished making the wooden tablet, and handed it over to Chen Shang, then kept the sharp thorn. Take them and go to the backyard of the He Manor. We will arrange for you to stay in the residence of He. When the time comes, we will bring you guys to the natural law world. The old man said, don't ask about anything else, you don't need to know. You only need to know that this trip is extremely dangerous and that there is a high possibility that you will not be able to return. Quote. Chen Shang nodded, took the wooden tablet and left the small hut, and then quickly headed towards the backyard. Xiao Ke, did you see those thorns just now? Do you know what that is? Chen Shang asked. I don't know. However, I am certain that the rock where the spike is located on is not a rock. It is a type of animal skin. It shouldn't be a spike either, but rather a type of beast hair. Feng Ke said. Really? Chen Shang was completely shocked by Feng Ke's words. If beast fur alone was so scary, then what if it was a whole day beast? When he arrived at the backyard, Chen Kai was already there waiting for him. Chen Kai hurriedly brought him into a room. There are 2 beds in this room. We'll stay here for the time being. After Chen Kai finished speaking, his expression became serious and continued to speak. Just now, during your assessment, did you want to pull out a single thing? Chen Shang nodded, yes. He also wanted to discuss this matter with Chen Kai. It's a type of beast hair. Chen Kai said in a low voice, moreover, it's an extremely terrifying beast. Heaven Old Divine Race and World Defying Stage Clan are actually going to hunt and kill this beast, and it's even inside natural law world. What kind of beast is it? Why would it appear in the natural law world? Chen Shang asked anxiously. It was just as Feng Ke said, it was indeed a type of fur, and it was extremely useful. The name of this beast is Tiangu beast. It is a very foolish type of beast, but it is unusually strong, and its body is extremely strong. Even if it's someone at the peak of world-defying stage, it would be difficult to kill them all at once. Chen Kai said, only the myriad Dao have such things, and there shouldn't be many of them. But from the looks of it, a lot of natural law world will appear. Chen Shang said, otherwise, Heaven Old Divine Race and World Defying Stage Clan would not have recruited this many people. Tiangu beasts are stupid and strong, especially their fur. When they are dense, they look like countless swords, which is why they are also called sword beasts. Chen Kai said, legend has it that this fellow's fur that has a surface like a sword even contains myriad Dao divine soil. Now do you understand why they want to collect these fur? The myriad Dao divine soil was very useful. Chen Shang had already sensed it. He had his own ways of gathering the myriad Dao divine soil it was just that it would take him a little time and a lot of effort. But, the world-defying stage clan and the world-defying stage clan were different. They did not have a method like Chen Zhang's, but they also needed the myriad Dao divine soil very badly, so they could only use this method. Seems like this is an opportunity for us to obtain a large number of myriad Dao divine soil. Chen Kai laughed. When the time comes, we must go take a look. Chapter 3133. Pure Text Online Read Local Domain Name Mobile Phone Synchronous Read Please visit. Chen Shang did not lack myriad Dao divine soil he could refine them himself, but he did not want his enemies to gain too much. What I am curious about now is where did these Tiangu beasts come from and how many of them there are. Chen Shang was extremely suspicious, just what happened above the myriad Dao that was always able to descend upon such a strong guy batch by batch. First, it was the former Heaven Old Orcs, then it was the Heaven Old Divine Race, and now it's the Tiangu beast. I don't know about that. If you want to know, you have to grab their higher-ups and ask them. Chen Kai shook his head. At this time, Chen Shang and Chen Kai had no way of knowing where the Tiangu beast had come from, so they could only give up and wait for them to see the living Tiangu beast with their own eyes. Bang, bang, bang. Suddenly, someone roughly knocked on the door. There were many people at the backyard of the He clan. Chen Kai had only just arrived and did not know many people, but there were already people looking for him. This made him more curious about who was looking for him. After opening the door, the dozen men immediately rushed in and quickly closed the door. Each one of them was ferocious and had a murderous look on their faces. They were all big men. "You two have just arrived, right? Who are you two?" one of the young men said. He looked at the middle-aged leader and said, "He is our big brother Big Biao. Quickly kneel down and salute him. From now on, you all have Big Brother Big Biao protecting you. Oh yeah, after you kneel, don't forget to give a billion Dao crystal to Big Brother Big Biao." The funny thing was, these ruffians actually cultivated the Venerable Ancestor later stage. They did not know how they managed to cultivate it. It could only be said that the pills in the divine wasteland were flourishing more and more, allowing many people to cultivate to the Venerable Ancestor realm. "What if we don't kneel down and give up to the Dao crystal?" Chen Kai asked. "This is the He clan, even if we are to give it to him, we will give it to him. If we were to tell this to the people of the He clan, wouldn't you be afraid?" Ha ha eh, when the 10 odd men heard this, they all burst into laughter. "He clan, don't you know that we are protected by the people of the He clan? Stop talking nonsense and quickly kneel down. Otherwise, don't blame us," a young man said as he rubbed his fist, which was making a gurgling sound. Judging from his ferocious expression, he was very scary. But Chen Shang and Chen Kai were not afraid of them at all. "So it turns out that the He clan is protecting you?" Chen Shang laughed. "I don't believe that the He clan would shelter you 10 over stupid pigs. He clan is a grand world-defying stage clan, but he can raise pigs, it's unbelievable. You're courting death." The young man immediately roared and threw a punch at him. His fists were still extremely fierce and imposing in the past, but when his fists approached Chen Zhang's face, they were suddenly blocked by a burst of support, and it was difficult for his fists to reach his face. "A bunch of overconfident people. Do you think you guys can take our protection fee?" Chen Shang sneered, extended his hand and grabbed the big-sized man's wrist, then pinched it hard, and with a crack, the bones on his wrist was broken by Chen Shang. What frightened the youth was that he did not feel any pain, and the bones in his wrist were broken. You are going against the heavens." Big Brother Big Biao saw that Chen Shang was actually fighting back, and immediately became furious. He took out a large hammer and rotated it towards Chen Shang. "You bunch of weak pigs only dare to do this sort of thing." 2 beams of fire shot out from Chen Zhang's eyes, burning the hammer into ashes. This scared Big Brother Big Biao so much that he retreated a few steps. Now, they finally understood that the people they met this time were extremely powerful, and their strength far surpassed theirs. People with that kind of strength were mostly from world-defying stage, they would definitely not be able to beat him. "You all are those who won't leave." Big Brother Big Biao's reaction was very fast. He hastily left through the door, and the rest of the people immediately followed, worried that they would be killed. "I didn't expect to cause trouble, these guys are really bastards." Chen Shang shook his head and sighed. He probably went to look for help. "Let's take a look first." Chen Kai put his hand on Chen Zhang's shoulder because Chen Shang wanted to leave. All right, Chen Shang did indeed want to stay here and head towards the natural law world to follow the world-defying stage clan and search for the Tianggu beast. It was just that he didn't know if they would still be able to go if he stirred up some trouble now. Very soon, people arrived. The people here were a bit more powerful, but Chen Shang and Chen Kai were not afraid. "Isn't this the steward?" Chen Kai laughed when he saw an elder walk in. Chen Kai had seen this butler before when he first entered the backyard, and he had a good relationship with the butler too. Chen Shang guessed that Big Brother Da Biao and the rest of them had this butler behind their backs. When the butler came in, his face was fierce, but after seeing Chen Kai, his expression became much warmer. He looked at the group of pigs behind Chen Kai and berated angrily, "You pigs, if you continue to cause trouble for me, all of you get out of He clan." The butler was not like those fellows who only had eyes and eyes for eyes. Of course, he could tell that Chen Shang and Chen Shang were not ordinary people, or else he wouldn't have scared Big Brother Big Biao and the others so much that they would run away. But this made him curious, why would the people of the world-defying stage come here? The majority of the people who came here were here to obtain divine pellets. A divine pellet to allow someone to enter the world-defying stage was extremely precious, and only through this opportunity would ordinary people be able to obtain one. However, to those who had already stepped into the world-defying stage, this was not very attractive. However, Chen Shang and Chen Kai were here. Chen Kai seemed to have already seen through the butler's thoughts. He walked over and smiled. Butler, we are indeed from the world-defying stage, we only came here out of curiosity. It's very rare for us to be able to accompany the world-defying stage clan and the heaven-old divine race on an adventure in this world. Traveling outside is a form of training for us. It can strengthen our mental state. Chen Shang laughed. Chief Butler, let's forget about this matter. We don't have any losses anyway. Then I'll apologize for those guys here. The butler hurriedly nodded with a smile and apologized to Chen Shang and Chen Kai. Chen Shang and Chen Kai naturally accepted his apology and chatted for a while. In the end, the butler said that he still had things to do and left in a hurry. I wonder if we will attract the attention of the He clan. Chen Kai said, there are already a lot of people in the Venerable Ancestor later stage now, but there aren't many in the world-defying stage, only many in the world-defying stage clan. Very few people in the citizens are able to step into the world-defying stage with their own strength. If there are any, they would be won over by the powers such as the world-defying stage heavenly sect. As long as they don't find out who I am. Chen Shang said, our current goal is to follow them to the natural law world to find those Tianggu beast and find out where those Tianggu beast came from. Chapter 3134. Pure text online. Read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read. Please visit. Chen Shang and Chen Kai had been waiting here for a few days, but no one from the higher-ups of the He clan came to look for them. Big Brother Da Biao and the rest of those ruffians are most likely kept by the butler. This butler made a lot of money and was worried that we would expose him, so he did not inform us of his identity. Otherwise, if we were to discuss this with the higher-ups of the He clan, he would be in deep trouble. Chen Kai laughed. He had only been in the human world for a few years, and already understood this kind of human nature. A powerhouse like the He clan should not like this kind of thing. Chen Shang laughed. That's not bad, at least it's a good thing for us. But we still have to be on guard. Chen Kai opened the door and went outside. Look. It looks like we are about to set off. During this time, you always come to remind us to be prepared. Quote. When Chen Shang went outside, he saw that there were already more than 3,000 people in the courtyard. Big Brother Da Biao and the other 10-odd people had also disappeared, probably killed by the butler. The main butler belongs to world-defying stage. This guy must have earned a lot. Chen Shang looked at the butler in the distance and said softly to Chen Kai. An old man dressed in extravagant clothing suddenly arrived, and the main butler immediately and respectfully walked over to pay his respects to the old man. Everyone has been waiting for a long time. We can set off tomorrow morning. Before you depart again, you must eat a pill. This pill can protect you from being poisoned. The old man took out a golden box and handed it to the butler. Give one to each of them and watch them eat it. The steward nodded and gave the pill to everyone. The 3,000 people let him send it for a long time, but now it was Chen Zhang's turn. Chen Kai and Chen Kai's turn. They had already agreed to pretend to eat it, so after they received it, they only put it in their mouths, and then used a force to wrap this pellet in. Alright, everyone has already consumed it. In that case, if you meet a savage beast who knows how to use poison, you all don't have to worry about it. When the old man saw that everyone had finished eating, he said loudly, go back and have a good rest, we will set out tomorrow morning and head to Natural Law World. After the old man, everyone went back to their own rooms. After Chen Shang returned to his room, he quickly spat out the pill and frowned. This is definitely not an antidote pill. Chen Shang could currently be said to be one of the top alchemists in the Divine Wasteland, so he could tell with a glance if it was a poison antidote pill or not. What kind of pill would that be? Chen Kai also spat out. I don't know yet, I'll take a look after I dissolve it. Chen Shang took out the Tianchuang furnace and placed the pellet inside, then released the weak world-defying god fire inside to incinerate. This is a poisonous pill. After Chen Shang incinerated, he said in shock, could it be that these fellows want to use poison pills to control everyone? So sinister. When Chen Kai found out about this, he was a little angry, but he almost believed it. It should be a poison pill that will take effect at a certain time. Chen Shang said, I've been infected with this poison before, but I just don't know what will happen when this poison pill breaks out. Chen Shang also did not understand this kind of pill. He continued to study it closely, while Chen Kai had already gone to rest. Early morning on the second day, when Chen Kai woke up, he saw that Chen Shang was still facing the pill furnace, so he said, we're going out together, have you gotten a result? There are already results. This pill should have been refined by the heaven-old divine race. I never thought that there would be an alchemist master in the heaven old divine race. Chen Shang exclaimed, his technique is also very profound. Chen Shang was only curious about what would happen after the poison broke out, and he also had to find a way to cure it, because it was refined by the heaven old divine race. If the heaven old divine race were to use it on him in the future, he would be prepared. There are indeed many strong fellows in the heaven old divine race. It is not strange for them to refine pills. Chen Kai said, maybe they even refined a large amount of pills to allow people to enter world-defying stage. It should be good. They even know how to use this poison pill to control others. That way, they won't need to be afraid of betrayal, and they don't need to pay anything to be able to get a bunch of slaves. Chen Shang gnashed his teeth and said, I must stop this from happening. Is there any way? Chen Kai asked. I'm also worried that I'll be poisoned. If you have a good idea, then that's fine. I don't need to worry about that anymore. Not at the moment, but if I meet people from heaven old divine race and kill one or two of them, I can find a way to break their detoxification pills and find the herbs needed to concoct them. Chen Shang said. Chen Kai had already opened the door and walked out. After following him out, they saw the old man again, but what surprised both him and Chen Kai was that many of them looked listless, and were even trembling. Seeing this situation, Chen Shang and Chen Kai reacted very quickly. They immediately pretended to be listless and like the others, their bodies trembled as they walked into the group. Many people here seemed to understand something when they saw that everyone was in the same situation. Just as Chen Shang had said, the poison from the pellet yesterday had already acted up, which was why everyone acted like this. He and Chen Kai had only pretended to eat it, so they weren't poisoned. Everyone's condition isn't too good. As the old man spoke, he had a sinister smile on his face, but don't worry, I have pills for you. If you take them, you will recover immediately. As he spoke, the old man had the butler give each of them a red pill. Chen Shang and Chen Kai could see that when those people saw this pill, they looked like hungry wolves that had seen meat. Their eyes had already turned red, and when this pill came into their hands, they quickly stuffed it into their mouths. When it was Chen Shang and Chen Kai's turn, they also learned to act like this, in order to not be suspected. When the main butler saw them acting like this, he was secretly happy, because the people from the world-defying stage were also controlled by the He clan. After consuming the pill, everyone recovered their spirit, everyone knew that this was all part of the He clan. Although they were angry in their hearts, they did not dare to make a sound, because they were sure that they would be in that state again in the future. If they did not have the antidote pill, they would feel very uncomfortable. They were all cursing He clan in their hearts. Chen Shang and Chen Kai had also pretended to eat their antidotes. Chen Shang did not expect to get his hands on the antidote so quickly, and now, as long as he had time, he would be able to concoct the same antidote. Alright, we can set off now. When the old man saw that everyone was being honest, he immediately laughed out loud and took out a huge frisbee, allowing everyone to walk on it. After going up, the elder controlled the flying discs to fly quickly, and they headed towards the myriad Dao forest. Chapter 3135. The huge flying disc was soaring high in the sky. Although it was huge, its speed was very fast. Even when standing on top of it, it didn't feel like it was blown by the wind. Chen Shang and Chen Kai could hear someone discussing about the poison pill in a low voice. Other than Chen Shang and Chen Kai, everyone else had been poisoned by the poison. They knew how dangerous this great power was, and that it would definitely be controlled by them for a long time. Many people who heard the discussions were furious, but they did not dare make it too obvious, as they were worried that they would be discovered. Chen Shang was currently seated cross-legged on the ground. He had already entered his own divine sense sea world to refine the poison detoxification pill. He could dissolve this pill, and then use the derivation method to refine it, which would be able to produce a greater amount of detoxification power. If he were to clash with the antidote again, he would be able to obtain a large amount of medicinal power, and at that time, he would be able to condense a large amount of the antidote. This pill can only be temporary relief. If its quality is high, it should be able to be removed in one go. Chen Shang thought, and estimated how much pills he would need. He had to use his experience to determine this. The time of the poison's onset should be around 1 day. Chen Shang looked at everyone's expressions. There was nothing abnormal. It had already been 2 hours since they had eaten the antidote pill. The flying disc was still flying, and although its flying speed was fast, it still needed a lot of time to reach the myriad Dao forest. During this time, it was also convenient for Chen Shang to observe. Soon, a day had passed. By the morning of the second day, the crowd had become listless and their bodies were trembling. This was the same situation as yesterday. It's indeed one day. Now that Chen Shang had determined the time of the poison's onset, he could calculate how much strength it would take to purge the poison in one go based on the quantity of the detoxification pill. At this time, the butler started to distribute antidote pills again. This time, he gave each of them 3 pills. This way, the pills could last for 3 days. At this time, everyone was very sure that they had been poisoned. They never thought that a dignified He clan would actually use such a despicable method to harm them. This made them even more furious. At this moment, the flying discs were enveloped in an extremely oppressive atmosphere. Everyone was suppressing their anger, because the people of the He clan were on the flying discs, and they were very strong as well. Even if the people of this place worked together, they would still not be able to defeat the elder of the He clan. Everyone, as long as you cooperate with us, after this period of time, I will definitely help you cure the poison. The old man from He clan felt terrified when he was stared at by the crowd's resentful gaze and quickly said. The crowd did not say anything as they silently closed their eyes. They did not know what to say as they knew that as long as they resisted, only death awaited them. Now, they could only accept it. He clan these bastards, I will definitely not let them have a good time. Chen Kai clenched his teeth, and sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. Once there's a chance, attack He clan, these people are too despicable. Even the heaven old orcs Chen Kai couldn't stand it any longer. It could be seen that Chen Kai was still very righteous in his heart. Of course, I already have enmity with the He clan, I won't let them succeed. Chen Shang replied. At the moment, he was still concocting pills, but he had used the power of the time laws 3 times inside the divine sense sea world. 2 days had passed and the flying discs had already flown into the myriad Dao forest. The myriad Dao forest had become very beautiful. Even though Cheng Sheng had just arrived here, he could not help but exclaim in shock. He had not been here for a long time. Although he had heard of the changes from Chen Shang, he did not see it with his own eyes, so he did not know the exact details. The change is really huge. Chen Kai sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. Those people from the heaven old divine race should be gathering here. They have already occupied the territory of the heaven old orcs. They're actually hiding in here. I was just strolling around here before. Chen Shang could not help but be shocked. If he had met these people from the heaven old divine race before, there was a possibility that they would have clashed. At this time, Chen Shang had already refined the detoxification pill, but he only had around 100 pills. After the frisbee flew into a mountain range, there was an empty square in the mountain range. The frisbee landed on top of the square. After they got off the flying discs, they got 3 more antidote pills. While they were waiting, several other flying discs came flying over and landed on the ground. Many people that were recruited came down from above and obtained 3 antidote pills. At the moment, there were more than 10,000 people gathered here. All of them were poisoned, and all of them were controlled by the world-defying stage clan. These fellows sure have good methods. Chen Kai could not help but exclaim, this way, they'll be able to obtain a lot of slaves. Yes, Chen Shang never thought that these world-defying stage clan would be so shameless as to do such a thing. The heaven old divine race is here, Chen Kai suddenly said to Chen Shang. Chen Shang looked in one direction, and everyone looked in that direction too. The people of heaven old divine race were extremely mysterious. They were dressed in beautiful golden clothes and had a beautiful golden mask on their face. There was a golden headband on their heads, making them look extremely aloof. The people of heaven old divine race were indeed strong. Once they appeared, everyone was shocked by the power that they had released. They could not help but lower their heads, afraid that people would think that they were being disrespectful and cause a fatal disaster. World-defying stage fierce power. At this time, Chen Shang also pretended to lower his head, secretly surprised. The people from the heaven old divine race had already cultivated this kind of world-defying stage fierce power to become very pure, and the aura they released was very strong. When will I be able to cultivate it? Chen Shang already felt that with his current strength, if he wanted to deal with these powerful heaven old divine race people, he would not be able to defeat them. Prepare to enter the natural law world. One of the heaven old divine race people shouted out softly. It was a young man. Chen Shang suddenly sensed a very strong spatial ripple. When these heaven old divine race people entered, they could directly open a very large spatial tunnel that was connected to the natural law world. Does natural law world really have Tiangu beast? Chen Shang looked at the black vortex that was slowly growing larger in the sky. That was the entrance to the natural law world. You can go in now. After that, the few heaven-old divine races were the first to go in, followed by the various world-defying stage clans who controlled the flying discs, flying towards the gigantic black vortex. After entering the black whirlpool, Chen Shang quickly felt the aura of the natural law world. Mother Cker, this is my territory. Chen Shang secretly cursed in his heart. He was the god here, controlled by the natural law world, and now he was actually forced to do whatever he wanted by this group of people. He had to do something. Chapter 3136. Chen Kai was right next to him. He could feel Chen Zhang's current state of mind, and he sent a sound transmission to him, "You need to make your move now." Of course not. After Chen Shang finished speaking, they had already emerged from the darkness and appeared in a forest in the middle of the natural law world. Why are you suddenly angry? Chen Kai was extremely suspicious, because Chen Zhang's anger had erupted all of a sudden. Although Chen Shang had restrained himself very well, Chen Kai could still sense it. This is my territory. Chen Shang told Chen Kai simply about how he was in charge of managing the natural law world. Now that my world has been invaded by this group of people, I'm even preparing to wantonly destroy it. That's true, these guys really do owe me a lesson. Chen Kai nodded. Do you have any good plans? After the formation plate was suspended in the air, it released a very peculiar time and space power. Following that, a majestic burst of spatial energy surged out, and the space in the sky was suddenly torn apart as a large spatial crack appeared. Boom. After the sound of the explosion, a large number of spatial rifts suddenly shattered, and a large amount of black objects rushed out. In just a few blinks of an eye, a large gust of black wind blew out. What a bastard! Chen Shang immediately scolded. He now understood how those Tianghu beasts came here. The people of heaven old divine race had let them in, and they were the ones who opened a passage for the Tianghu beast to come here. They're using this place as a hunting ground. Chen Kai was also very angry. They know where a large number of Tianghu beasts are and then opened a path, allowing the Tianghu beast inside to run over here. When the black gale blew out, a large number of Tianghu beasts ran out as well. Moreover, they were blown everywhere by the gale and were already far away from here. Let's begin the arrangements, an old man from the He clan said. They only had around 3,000 people under their command. Right now, the elders of the various families were beginning to tell the crowd some things that they needed to pay attention to. They wanted the group to hunt the Tianghu beast. They did not need the Tianghu beast's corpse, they only needed the Tianghu beast's beast hair. Chen Shang had seen those beast hair before, and Chen Kai had also said that the beast hair contained a little less myriad Dao divine soil. These guys are going to destroy my territory. Chen Shang was about to explode. He had already decided that after everything here was settled, he would go to the divine wasteland and destroy their territory. If they could not hunt a Tianghu beast, they would not be able to come back. Even if they did come back, they would not be able to get the antidote pill for a while, and they would be tortured by the poison for a period of time before they could get the antidote pill. The people of He clan and the people of heaven old divine race did not go. It could be seen that they were very afraid of death because they did not know the specific strength of the Tianghu beast right now. Therefore, when the time came, they would quietly observe from afar. Everyone was very helpless. In order to survive, they could only face unknown dangers at this moment, where Chen Shang and Chen Kai were also in the crowd. He clan these bastards, they actually dared to scam your father. If I become stronger in the future, I will definitely make them pay with their blood. One of the elders was extremely angry, running wildly while cursing. We still don't know whether we'll make it back alive. The things we face this time are very strong. Didn't you see how those guys didn't dare to follow us? A middle-aged man was very calm. They are watching us from afar. They probably want to use us to test the strength of that thing, said. Both he and Chen Shang could sense that someone was following them. It was just the old man from the He clan. This animal, I really want to kill them right now. A young man looked behind him and discovered that there was indeed a golden dot in the distance. It was the old man from He clan. His voice was so loud that even though the crowd was running around making noise, everyone could still hear him. He's here, Chen Kai said in a low voice. It must be because of that brat's scolding earlier. As expected, with the speed of the elder from He clan flying over, and a cold expression on his face, he walked into the crowd and locked onto the young man who had scolded him just now. Although he was far away just now, he could still hear the sounds from here. This old man was of noble status even in the He clan. How could he tolerate being insulted like this? It would have been fine if he hadn't heard it, but he heard it and knew it was a scolding. Were you scolding me just now? The voice of the old man from He clan was filled with cold air, his eyes swept across the crowd, the killing light caused them all to tremble, as though they could be killed at any moment. So what if I am scolding you? You old thing, you are inferior to an animal. Using this sort of despicable method to control us, even scolding you as an animal would give you face. The young man cursed loudly. He knew that he could no longer live on. Moreover, living like this was worse than dying. He might as well just continue scolding to his heart's content. Hey, since you're begging for death, I'll grant you that wish. When the He clan saw that someone had insulted him like that in front of everyone, he was so angry that his whole body trembled. When the young man saw his angry appearance, he immediately laughed out loud. Old bastard, I didn't think that you would know how to be angry. However, it is also normal for beasts to get angry. If you really do not want to get angry, then you are truly inferior to beasts. Quote. Everyone admired his courage and inwardly cheered for him. The He clan old man's face suddenly became sinister, his palms started to exude purple mist. I suddenly changed my mind, I want to make you live a life worse than death. In a flash, he appeared in front of the young man, his purple hand was already slapping towards him, and just as he was about to hit the young man, Chen Shang immediately used a teleportation to teleport the young man away. The He clan elder missed, which surprised him. He did not expect the young man in front of him to be able to use teleportation. Good, I want to see how long you can struggle. When the He clan saw that the young man was teleported to the distance, he anxiously rushed forward, but just as he was about to go over, Chen Shang had already teleported and appeared behind him. The old man from the He clan was very powerful, he had cultivated the primordial divine body, and had just not reached the peak yet. Although he had only reached mastery, he was still an extremely powerful existence in the divine wasteland, and was not someone the venerable ancestor realm could handle. Chapter 3137. Just as the He clan elder flew over, he sensed that someone was following behind him. He was greatly alarmed, as if he had thought of something, but it was already too late. Chen Shang had already made his move. When the heavenly magic sword appeared, it instantly flashed with a cold light. The old man's head that was just about to turn, had already landed on the ground. When everyone saw this sudden scene, they could not help but be dumbstruck. The incomparably powerful old man from the He clan was killed just like that, and the person who made a move easily chopped off that head. Who exactly are you? The He clan elder looked at the indifferent Chen Shang. He remembered that the person in front of him was also recruited by them. If you kill me, aren't you afraid of getting the antidote pill? Although the old man's head was chopped off, he did not lose it. His body was already being stepped on by Chen Kai as he searched through the items. Just who are you? The He clan elder could not help but be alarmed. The person in front of him was clearly not an ordinary person. Why would such a capable guy sneak in? He must have a reason. You want to know? I'm not going to tell you. Chen Shang kicked the head away and released a heaven-blasting palm and a world-defying god fire. The head exploded into dust. After exterminating the old man from the He clan, Chen Shang looked at the astonished crowd and laughed. I'm an alchemist, you don't have to worry about the matter of the antidote pill, I can refine enough antidote pills for you guys. Brother, is this true? I thought we'd be like this for the rest of our lives. The youth from before shouted excitedly. Your antidote pills can last for 2 more days, can't you? Chen Shang said, wait for 2 days, I should be able to help you guys get it over and over with. After that, Chen Shang and Chen Kai brought this group of people to a place to hide and help them refine the antidote. Chen Shang first concocted antidote temporarily, so it wouldn't take him too long to concoct a lot of antidote in a short period of time. This took him a full 10 days to complete. At this moment, everyone's poison had been dispelled, and they were all overjoyed. In order to settle them down, Chen Shang contacted the Heavenly Dragon City, had the Heavenly Dragon City send people over, and then led the group of people to various places in the natural law world to settle down. I haven't met any Tiangu beast yet. Chen Kai laughed. He clan would definitely ache over losing such an old fellow. Haha, what a great pleasure. We need to find the Tiangu beast. We need to get rid of them as soon as possible. Chen Shang was currently not in a good mood. He was the one in charge of managing this natural law world, and now, someone was messing around in his world, releasing a large number of Tiangu beasts to harm this world. This made him very angry. Heaven old divine race, the one who bullied me was not strong enough, just you wait. Chen Shang closed his eyes and searched through the entire natural law world. quickly locating a few Tiangu beast. There are more than 100 of them, and a Tiangu beast is approaching a city. Chen Shang clenched his fists. Although it had been more than 10 days, these Tiangu beast had not started their destruction and were just wandering around. Let's go. Chen Shang brought Chen Kai and quickly teleported to the Tiangu beast that was approaching the city. In the blink of an eye, Chen Shang and Chen Kai arrived at the Tiangu beast's location. This Tiangu beast was like a crocodile, but it was extremely huge. Its body was hundreds of meters long, and its entire body was covered with dense black spikes. This is the Tiangu beast. Chen Kai said. Those spikes are their beast fur, they have extremely strong defensive power, ordinary divine weapons would not be able to break through their defenses. Try this one and you'll know. Chen Shang took out the heavenly magic sword, then teleported over. Just in case, he had released the black long whip in the past and had this black long whip tie the Tiangu beast up. Chen Kai originally wanted to go and help, but seeing that Chen Shang had released a very powerful black whip to tie the Tiangu beast up, he felt that there was no need to go over there. This whip is really powerful. Chen Shang had thought that the Tiangu beast would break free, but the Tiangu beast only roared and rolled on the ground, its spiky fur constantly trembling. Bastard, prepare to die. Chen Shang landed, and the heavenly magic sword easily stabbed into the Tiangu beast's head. Under his control, the heavenly magic sword entered the inner part of the Tiangu beast's head and started hacking inside, and in that short period of time, the Tiangu beast was killed. This big guy is really big. He has quite a lot of fur on him. When Chen Kai arrived at the bottom of the Tiangu beast's corpse, he felt as if he was at the bottom of a small mountain. He walked over and pulled out a sharp thorn. Is there really a myriad Dao divine soil here? Chen Shang asked. I'll leave this corpse to you. If I refine the myriad Dao divine soil, I will give you some. Sure, Chen Kai laughed. That whip of yours is not bad, can you let me have a look? Chen Shang passed the whip over. After Chen Kai received it and examined it, he exclaimed, this is made using the myriad Dao divine soil S, and the number of myriad Dao divine soil S used is not any less than yours. It's just that, due to the different effects, it wasn't refined into a sharp weapon. This whip seemed to be able to extend its length infinitely, if not Chen Shang would not have been able to bind this mountainous Tiangu beast just now. Is it really the myriad Dao divine soil? No wonder he's so powerful. Chen Shang had been bound before, so he couldn't struggle free at all. Hee, you really have a lot of good stuff. It seems like I don't need to help you hunt the beasts. I will just follow behind you and collect the corpses. Chen Kai laughed. Because Chen Shang was in charge of the natural law world, when he closed his eyes, he could see the entire world. The size of the Tiangu beast wasn't small, and it was very easy for him to find them. In just a short 3 days, all 100 Tiangu beast had been killed by him and the natural law world had temporarily escaped calamity. They will come back, Chen Kai said. Your natural law world space is too weak, you need strengthening. How? Chen Shang didn't understand this. Well, I don't know either, but the strength of this world is closely related to your own strength. Try and see if you can use your own strength to strengthen this world. Chen Kai thought for a while, then said, but before that, let's go kill the world-defying stage clan and the people of heaven old divine race, it's not good to have them here. Chapter 3138. The people of the heaven old divine race were much more powerful than the people of the world-defying stage clan. The people of the heaven old divine race could use the powerful world-defying stage fierce power, and like the heaven old orcs, they both had a strong heart, and their hearts were their weakness. Don't go against the people of the heaven old divine race, even if you know their weakness it would be hard for you to defeat them. Chen Shang had seen the heaven old divine race before, they were indeed very strong, he did not know if he could defeat them. That's because heaven old divine race is a lot more powerful than heaven old orcs. Otherwise, heaven old orcs would not be so obedient right now. If they want to suppress heaven old divine race, then they can only look at heaven old orcs. Heaven old orcs should be thinking of a way to evolve his strength right now, and only then will they be able to fight against the people of heaven old divine race. Chen Kai's words made Chen Shang feel a little heavy. The people of heaven old divine race seemed to have grasped some way to release the Tiangu beast. Now that they had their eyes on the natural law world, they would definitely continue. In a short period of time, they would not be able to fight against the world-defying stage clan and the people of heaven old divine race. I'll go look for these guys now and see where they are. Chen Shang had seen the heaven old divine race people following them in before, but he did not know whether they were going back or not. Closing his eyes, Chen Shang could directly observe the natural law world. If there was a very powerful aura being released from the natural law world, he could also quickly lock onto the location of the aura being released. Not long after, he found a person from Heaven Old Divine Race. Found it, he's the only one. Chen Shang shouted excitedly. If he was alone with the Heaven Old Divine Race, he felt that he could still handle it. Are you sure he's alone? Chen Kai asked. Search the surroundings again. If there are other people from the Heaven Old Divine Race nearby, it would not be good. Yes, search carefully. Chen Shang searched carefully, but there was no one around the Heaven Old Divine Race. The person he found was indeed him. He's the only one. Come with me, Chen Shang said. When the time comes, you will hide in the vicinity. If there is any danger, I will depend on you. What is this guy doing there? Chen Kai asked. I don't know. He was sitting on top of a mountain peak with his legs crossed, as if he was resting or sensing something. Chen Shang said. He probably did not realize that all the Tianggu beasts were already killed. Go to that place and let me stay at the foot of the mountain. Go find him yourself. If there really is something dangerous, I'll help. Chen Kai said. His strength was still very strong, and he had a lot of experience dealing with the Heaven Old Orcs. In his eyes, the Heaven Old Orcs was no different from a person from the Heaven Old Divine Race. All right, Chen Shang brought Chen Kai and stealthily arrived at the foot of the mountain. After he placed Chen Kai at the foot of the mountain, he himself activated counter power to conceal himself, and then quietly flew to the top of the mountain. He was wearing a mask, and his face could not be seen. When Chen Shang arrived in the sky, the Heaven Old Divine Race person was still sitting cross-legged, as if he did not know that he had arrived. This guy is very strong. Although he was sitting here quietly without any defenses in place, why do I feel like he has no flaws? Chen Shang wanted to attack, but he didn't know how. He rarely encountered this kind of situation. In the past, when he appeared on top of an enemy's head, if the enemy didn't notice, he would be able to kill him in the next few seconds. But this Heaven Old Divine Race person made him feel like he had no place to start. Use that black whip to tie him up, and then release the seal's power from the 6 realms mirrors. Finally, use the heavenly magic sword to stab his sword through his heart. After Chen Shang decided on his strategy, he took a deep breath. This was him using all of his most powerful divine tools at once. It could be seen how cautious he was towards this Heaven Old Divine Race person. He took out the black whip and made a decision. After making a decision, he suddenly threw the black whip out, and in the blink of an eye, the black whip appeared on the Heaven Old Divine Race's body, binding the Heaven Old Divine Race's person, and then he released the 6 realms mirrors. It worked. In the next moment, Chen Shang appeared behind the Heaven Old Divine Race man and thrusted out his sword. Just as he was about to pierce through the man's body, an astonishing thing happened. The Heaven Old Divine Race person's body suddenly swayed, and released a gold light. The dazzling gold light carried a scorching heat, and in an instant, Chen Shang felt that the blood in his body was about to be burnt. After a flash of golden light, the Heaven Old Divine Race disappeared as well. He hurriedly retrieved the black whip and 6 realms mirrors back. This guy his body turned into light and broke free from the restraints I placed on him. Chen Zhang's seal did not seal the light, but the light could easily pass through the seal and shine out, thus, the person from Heaven Old Divine Race could break open the seal and escape. Who are you? His voice was filled with killing intent. The dense killing intent caused the sky to suddenly turn dark, and the cold wind howled incessantly. I am a person of this world, and you are here to cause destruction. I do not welcome you. Chen Shang said. I really didn't think that there would be someone with this kind of strength in this world. This is extremely rare, but it's a pity that you met me. After the Heaven Old Divine Race disciple said this, he rushed down, his body shot forward like a ray of light, causing Chen Shang to instantly feel a scorching pain. This guy is really scary. Chen Shang placed the 6 realms mirrors on his chest. When the other party rushed over and struck the mirror, it was immediately bounced back. After being rebounded, the people of Heaven Old Divine Race were in a sorry state. The magnificent golden white robe on his body had already been burnt to pieces. Just what was this thing? It can actually injure me. The people of Heaven Old Divine Race shouted in anger, weak human, you have angered me. You are the ones who angered me, right? You came to this world to cause destruction for no reason at all. You barbarians actually think that you are very noble. In my eyes, you are just arrogant wild boars. Chen Shang snorted, and retorted angrily. The people of Heaven Old Divine Race, who had always thought of him as very noble, were actually called wild boars by the humans they had looked down upon. This caused him to be extremely angry. Chapter 3139. Chen Zhang's words infuriated the heaven-old divine race, causing his body to continuously release terrifying golden light. This light made the stones on the mountain peak melt, it was so strong. Is it the world-defying stage fierce power? It really is scary. As Chen Shang held onto the Six Realms mirrors, he started to worry if his own Six Realms mirrors could still hold on. Although Chen Zhang's eyes were in pain from the light, he did not close his eyes. He saw that in the instant of the light explosion, a large ball of golden light flew towards him from the exploded body of the heaven-old divine race. There was a Six Realms mirrors in front of Chen Zhang's chest. This kind of quick attack was impossible for him to dodge, and he could only rely on the Six Realms mirrors to block it. Wah! The golden light shone onto Chen Zhang's Six Realms mirrors, and after a series of explosions, Chen Shang was forced to retreat. There were Six Realms mirrors blocking that ball of energy, but he was not injured. Ah! The waves of energy were still rampaging inside his body, wanting to destroy his body. Luckily, even if he could circulate the devouring magic Kung Fu, he was able to absorb and refine the waves of world-defying stage fierce power that had entered his body. How did you train your body? He clearly knew that Chen Shang had a divine tool that could reflect his strength, but he still continued to charge forward. It was to distract Chen Zhang's attention and let the few tiny golden threads he had released penetrate the latter's body. He had already succeeded, but he did not manage to kill Chen Shang as successfully as he had expected. In his imagination, as long as his world-defying stage fierce power entered Chen Zhang's body, he would be able to quickly destroy Chen Zhang's flesh, but this never happened. This was something he had never encountered before, even against the powerful Heaven-Old Orcs. This move of his was extremely effective, and could easily destroy Heaven-Old Orcs' heart. This guy has a lot of combat experience, but unfortunately, he made a mistake. Chen Shang suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. The opponent's attack just now had severely injured him. HMPH, looks like your body isn't very strong either. When the Heaven-Old divine race saw Chen Shang spitting out a large mouthful of blood, and that the blood carried his boiling power, he could not help but laugh. I want to see how long you can last. Heaven-Old divine race flew over once again. His attack was the same as before, it was just that he released even more golden threads this time. Come in. When the Heaven-Old divine race turned into a golden light and rushed towards Chen Zhang's chest, the Six Realms mirrors that was in front of Chen Zhang's chest suddenly appeared. The Tianchuang furnace's mouth faced the golden light, and after the golden light rushed in, Chen Shang immediately closed the lid, while the Six Realms mirrors went to resist the golden silk threads that came from all directions, rebounding all the golden silk threads out. The surface of the Tianchuang furnace was extremely hot, and it was shaking non-stop. If this goes on, your Tianchuang furnace will be destroyed. Feng Ke said, using the Six Realms mirrors to cover the furnace entrance, facing into the furnace with the mirror. As long as he released any energy, it would bounce back from the mirror. Chen Shang immediately did as he was told, but before he released a ball of his power, he started bombarding the Heaven-Old divine race cultivator inside. While the latter blocked his attack, he took the chance to change the cover. The Heaven-Old divine race caught a glimpse of a hole in the cover just now, but it was immediately covered again. He once again transformed into a golden light and charged forward, but after clashing against the Six Realms mirrors' mirror, the force he released was rebounded back, and it had increased by several times, hitting him back, seriously injuring him. This guy killed himself. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief, looked at the Heaven-Old divine race inside the furnace and laughed. What's going on? Chen Shang suddenly saw a large black cloud rolling in from the distance, accompanied by a terrifying aura. They're from the Heaven-Old divine race, 4 of them, and they're very strong. They look like they released all the world-defying stage fierce power from their bodies, and they're rushing towards us. Chen Kai suddenly jumped up. Hurry and go. Chen Shang grabbed Chen Kai, and immediately teleported into Dan God Mysterious Land. That guy was taken care of by you? Chen Kai asked. He was captured by me, but he didn't die. It took me a long time to get him. This guy is really strong. Chen Shang said, if I didn't react fast, maybe I would be the one to be done for. Chen Shang and Chen Kai were currently in a secluded place in Dan God Mysterious Land, and he told Chen Kai the entire process. What a powerful Heaven-Old divine race, it's been a long time since I last saw them, how did they improve so much? Chen Kai's face became gloomy. He had told Chen Shang before, As long as he could attack the heart, it was fine. But this was not easy, because the heaven-old divine race people's bodies could split at any time and then combine together. If they got close to them, they would need to possess sufficient strength to fight them in close quarters, otherwise, it would not be able to pierce their hearts. Go and refine those Tianghu beast first, I want to see the situation inside the natural law world. Chen Shang closed his eyes and examined the mountain peak he was at just now. He saw 4 heaven-old divine races there, all dressed the same. OL, 5 just issued an emergency call for help. This is a very rare occurrence. There is actually an expert in this world that can make him ask for help. Who exactly are they? It is impossible for humans to be so powerful, and we can only be the heaven-old orcs, but how did the heaven-old orcs come to this place? Quote. I don't know. In short, OL, 5 is still alive, but his whereabouts are unknown. We must find him. He has the world-defying mad source bead, we can't let him fall into other people's hands. Even if he dies, we must get the world-defying mad source bead back. Hearing their conversation, Chen Zhang's heart jumped. The man from heaven-old divine race just now actually asked for help. If he could hold out for a while longer, these people would have arrived. The 4 heaven-old divine race people immediately spread out, looking for the 5th brother, in the air. Chen Shang took out the Tianchuang furnace, looked at the heaven-old divine race man lying on the ground, and thought, what is a world-defying mad source bead? Could it be that their powerful world-defying stage fierce power came from the world-defying mad source bead S? Quote. Chen Shang controlled the 6 realms mirrors to enter and kill the heaven-old divine race people inside. He wanted to see if he could find the world-defying mad source bead. Chapter 3140. Chen Shang probed the body of the heaven-old divine race person, and very quickly discovered that there was a very strong energy source in the heart of the heaven-old divine race person, and it was extremely violent. Not long after he killed the heaven-old divine race person, the body started to exude a gold light, and very quickly, it became gold-colored ashes. Oh no, it must be because the body has lost its consciousness and is unable to control the strong power inside it, that's why the power is destroying the body. Quote. Chen Shang was sure that the energy source was the world-defying mad source bead. Sure enough, a golden bead appeared inside the Tianchuang furnace. This bead was currently colliding against the walls of the furnace. The speed of the collision was extremely fast, as though countless golden lights were flashing around inside the furnace. Can this thing help us cultivate world-defying stage fierce power? Chen Shang immediately used the world-defying stage divine power to control the suppression, but it did not succeed. Xiao Ka, try releasing your sealing power. This thing has a very strong world-defying stage fierce power, I wonder if it can be tamed by me. Chen Shang looked carefully and sent out his divine sense to investigate, but he did not find anything. It's best not to fuse with this thing. This thing might be obtained by some means and might not belong to them. Feng Ka said. Chen Shang had previously heard from the 4 heaven-old divine races that they were going to take back the world-defying mad source bead. Yes, I'll try and see if I can refine it. Chen Shang released the world-defying god fire to burn. After being burned in the time domain for a month, he actually did not succeed. This thing is very hot to begin with, and the world-defying stage fierce power is so much stronger than my world-defying stage divine power. If I were to release the world-defying god fire to burn it, it would only be engulfed. Chen Shang said, it's not easy to deal with. Seems like I can only wait for you to cultivate world-defying stage fierce power. Feng Ka said, you should be aware of the difference between yourself and those heaven-old divine race people now. Of course I know. I will start training the world-defying stage fierce power now. Chen Zhang's body had an invigorated meridian, which allowed him to absorb the world-defying stage fierce power above the myriad Tao. Previously, he could not absorb it because his body was not strong enough, but now that his body was strong enough, the time was ripe. He closed his eyes and focused all of his attention on the heavenly passage channel in the divine sense sea world, trying to sense something from it. After an unknown amount of time, he suddenly felt a golden power appear before his eyes. After opening his eyes, he examined the divine sense sea's black meridian, and saw a trace of golden light shining inside. This is the world-defying stage fierce power. Chen Shang immediately lured the golden silk thread over and gathered it. I should need to condense a world-defying mad source bead. I don't know how long it will take. I need to use the dual time domain. After using dual time domain, he could transform one day into 30 months of time to use. He didn't know why, but the speed at which the world-defying stage fierce power was being absorbed was extremely slow. 30 months passed quickly, but the world-defying stage fierce power that he had condensed was only the size of a grain of rice. This should be my world-defying mad source bead, but compared to the heaven-old divine race, it's way too small. The world-defying mad source beads of the heaven-old divine race were as big as eggs. I can only continue. I have to hurry up. Right now, he could not use the triple time field either, otherwise he would not have enough energy to condense world-defying mad source bead. It had already been a month since they were outside and the atmosphere inside the Dan-God mysterious land was extremely tense. Because something big had happened in the natural law world and they wanted to contact Chen Shang, but Chen Shang still hadn't appeared. Chen Shang was right inside the Dan-God mysterious land. He had almost finished cultivating his world-defying mad source bead. Although it was not as big as an egg, it was still not bad. Let me check the situation of natural law world. After Chen Shang closed his eyes, he immediately sensed that a lot of dead souls had appeared in the natural law world, and quite a few people had died. Quite a few people have died. At least a few cities have been destroyed. This group of bastards, I will make all of you accompany me in death. Chen Shang could feel the chi of the 4 heaven-old divine race people. They were also hunting Tianggu beasts. When he came out, he immediately went to find world-defying stage Dao ancestor and the others, telling them some information. Right now, the most important thing is not to eliminate the things outside, but to strengthen the natural law world's spatial barrier, so that they won't be able to open it that easily. Only you can do this. The world-defying stage Dao ancestor said. You guys should be careful when you go out. Don't deal with those fellows. Once I've reinforced the space wall, I'll go out and destroy them. Chen Shang hurriedly left and came to a quiet place before he attempted to sense the spatial wall of the natural law world. As he was a cultivator of spatial energy, he was able to sense it very quickly. Moreover, he could sense that there were a few weak spots and even some cracks. He immediately released some spatial energy to repair it. He would need to consume a lot of his energy to repair it. Fortunately, he recovered quickly and was able to maintain his energy consumption. It's been repaired. The next time they want to open it won't be that easy. Right now, I have to continue strengthening the spatial walls. It looks too thin. Chen Shang did not know why, but he was getting more and more familiar with the natural law world, and he was getting more and more clear about it. Using my world-defying stage fierce power to circulate the laws of space, I wonder what will happen. Chen Shang thought of doing it, and immediately gave it a try. After that, he released an extremely dense spatial energy, which turned into a golden color and rushed into the spatial wall of the natural law world, swiftly strengthening the spatial wall. No, my world-defying stage fierce power is too weak, it's not enough. Chen Shang saw that the world-defying mad source bead he created had become dim and he could not help but become anxious. Got it, he remembered the big world-defying mad source bead in the heaven-old divine race. After a few tries, he successfully transferred the world-defying stage fierce power inside into his small one, and then used his own small world-defying mad source bead to summon his spatial energy to strengthen the natural law world's spatial wall. He carried on continuously for a month. That large world-defying mad source bead had already become transparent, and all the world-defying stage fierce power inside had been used up, while the natural law world's spatial wall had already become very strong.